Aqueduct here for the winter meet in South Ozone Park, New York. Gorgeous Saturday afternoon. And you're joining us just in time for the start of the early Pick 4 race, too. A couple of big stakes on the turf later today. We will be off the air by then, but we'll have time to set up the first of those two. Interesting Jockey Club Oaks, and later on the boys get their shot as well in the Knickerbocker.
As turf racing is coming to a bit of a close.
Greg Wolf, Andy Serling, thanks for joining us. And this card today, early on, how'd you feel? Formful? Obviously a huge scratch in our first race coming up.
Yeah, well, you're right. I mean, with Tough Love Torres, whether you like this horse or not, that horse was going to be a heavy favorite. I've scratched into an overbet 3, Take Me to Loudon, picking up Flavian Pratt. But you've got a major player lost. We'll see. I mean, you and I were talking a bit before we came on. Some of these races are pretty open.
Here's what's ahead, presented by Claiborne Farm. Pick 6 carryover starts in race 5. Just over $16,000. Late pick 5, of course, in the next race, in the 6th. And the last race on this card today, if you're playing the late pick 5, makes this a lot more interesting to play this late pick 5. Very wide open group.
I agree. I mean, I think Isadora Duncan will probably be favored despite the outside post, but Chad Brown and Flavian Pratt.
That confident?
Am I confident she'll be favored or confident she's going to win? No, I thought it was between the two horses that are morning line favorites, Sue, the 8 Sue, and her as well, but it's hard to know in these races.
Bonus 200, that code to use at sign up at Naira Bets. Get that $200 deposit match bonus and sign up. Here we go. Start with race 2 to start the pick 4. $17,000 claiming race, all for sale in this race. It's horses who've not won 2 lifetime. 6.5 furlongs, and yet biggest scratch probably of the meet so far. Tough Love Torres looked like she was not going to lose. She coming out makes this a lot more wide open affair. 8 minutes away from race 2. First to set up the afternoon, and some riders, unfortunately, we will not be seeing today. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
That's right, Greg. An unfortunate incident yesterday, as in a later race, we saw a catastrophic injury take place to heavyweight champs with Ricardo Santana aboard, who is riding today. But when he fell, tarpaulin fell over him, unseating jockey Dylan Davis, who sustained several injuries, a broken right collarbone, 9 fractured ribs, and he has a punctured lung and an injury to his kidney as well. So there's some surgeries planned for Dylan. He is stable enough to be transferred for those surgeries to take place from Jamaica Hospital, where he was taken yesterday. So our thoughts are with Dylan Davis, who is definitely not out of the woods yet. We'll keep you updated. But also, Greg, we see Joel Rosario out, as well as Sahin Savachi, who was injured in an incident with his horse stumbling out of the gate. So you will have a lot of rider updates throughout the card today.
Yeah, we wish the best to Dylan. No time frame on when he may come back, and not an early birthday present he was hoping for. He turns 31 on Saturday. He's had such a terrific turnaround to his career. As we get a look, and Ricardo Santana Jr. was involved in that spill. Good news for Ricardo. He is okay. He'll ride Tamiya here for Carlos Martin. And, we talked about Sahin Savachi the last couple of days. He's going to be out about a month with some hairline fractures in his back. Yeah, listen,
I mean, that it's a dangerous game. It's a game where an ambulance follows the field around. Sometimes you fortunately, sometimes we almost forget a little bit because you don't see injuries for a while, but it is always out there. And obviously, we are hoping things work out for both Sahin Savachi and Dylan, and they're okay. And we look forward to them getting back to race, but our thoughts are with them for sure.
All right, so as for this race, with this huge favorite coming out, it's changed everything with Tough Love Torres, the 5 gone. The 3 is now the favorite. Take Me to London, and we'll get to in a moment. We start with Carolina Smoke Show.
Yeah, Carolina Smoke Show is one that's a little tough to make, though I guess if you go way back, you can find some races that are good enough. I don't want to say anybody in here can't win, Greg.
Calling an audible, what everyone has to do in this race now with the scratch of the 5.
Well, finally broke the maiden in the 19 start, but sometimes these horses find they like winning, and maybe you can win another race. Not that far out of it.
Hottest rider on the planet. Flavian Pratt, Take Me to London.
Remarkable horse that has run a 50 buyer in all 4 of his starts, so probably need to run better. I'm hoping second off a layoff, dropping down with Flavian, he gets it done. I scratched into him and am not thrilled with 6-5.
3-1 on the speed here, Aurora Lina.
I think the 4 is the speed along with the 6 in here. I don't like this races out of town for the most part, though a good race here in the mud.
Tamia went by, Ricardo Santana Jr., and here's Ragtime Sizzle outside.
Tamia seems like an overlay, by the way. He's one of those one-number horses. And Ragtime Sizzle has a couple of races, give him a chance, and does get a rider change. Eric Cancel will be riding this one. I mean, I don't have a definitive strong opinion of anybody, and I end up on the 6-5 favorite, which isn't exactly a great position to be in, so showing that I'm not being particularly imaginative. But my feeling is dropping down second off a layoff, picking up Flavian Pratt. This horse has the most likely of anyone here to have a forward move, but I'm not going to make a big case for him.
Anytime, as we've been seeing this entire meet, and with good reason, that man right there is aboard, the Reigning Eclipse Award winner, Flavian Pratt. You're going to take a big-time hurting on the tote board because he just keeps on winning since he has come back from the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar. He is 21 for 53, 40%, with another 3 wins on Friday. Take a look at who he's going to ride today.
Well, he didn't win the first, so it's over for him.
Well, it's incredible. And not to mention, included in that, the first ever 7-win day on the NYRA circuit that included 3 runner-ups as well.
That's pretty amazing when you think about it. You think about the riders that have come through here and the kind of days they've had. 7, and also he won 7 and he was second with the other in 3. I think there were 11 races and he rode 10 of them. He had 3 seconds, and a couple of them were really close. Like one was a neck and one was a half ahead. I mean, you know, when Flavian gives a less than perfect ride, it's incredibly noticeable. It's like you really notice because it's so rare that he doesn't do everything right that you tend to notice it. Now, I think he's a little overbet. I think the 4 is way overbet. You're talking about a barn that has had very little success on this circuit over the last 6 months at a short price and speed, but isn't Tamea going to be outside of him? Now, I don't love the 6 Tamea. He's a classic sort of one-number horse, but that one number beats these horses, and I think if I was going to take one of the 4 or 6, I'm definitely on the 6. I didn't like the 4 at all in here.
Let's go downstairs to Maggie.
I don't like either of the favorites in here, Andy, as Take Me to London is a filly that, as you pointed out, is a rare commodity in that 4 consecutive 50 buyer speed figures. That's all she's ever run. And that is kind of represented in the way that she looks physically. She has not changed at all with racing, with age. She looks exactly the same as what she did when she began her career over a year ago as a 2-year-old. She's small. She does not carry much conditioning across her top line. I was hoping she'd strengthen up with that race under her belt coming back off the layoff on October 22nd, but she has not. So furthermore, I didn't love the way that she warmed up. Now, look, she goes out for the best connections in this field. I mean, I don't want to be too critical of the other ones, but they are the most successful, Brad Cox and Flavian Pratt. So I get taking the price on them, but I don't get taking the price on this filly who, to me, just has not shown a considerable amount of talent, though she does get that drop in class. Moving on to number 6, Timia here. She did not face a particularly good field last time out at Parks, and she's done a little bit of trainer magical chairs, which I don't often love to see, but she is a healthier filly, which I like. That is something I like to see, and furthermore, she's moving well, much like she was back in Saratoga in that last start where she ran her best effort at this level. I think, you know, as Andy pointed out, she needs to be forward to do her best running, and last time she was nowhere near the lead while wide there at Parks. So look for her to be more aggressively handled, obviously with Ricardo Santana in the irons, but I did like what I was seeing from her on the track. But the one I like most is a bit of a price, just purely based on appearances, and number 7, Ragtime Sizzle for the Cantor Mossies. I know her start 3 back on a dry track is not very good. But before that, and albeit for other trainers and good trainers at that, she's run races that make her very competitive in this spot. And 2, she's one that I think struggles a little bit behind. And so therefore on those sealed racetracks, I wonder if she kind of, was slipping a bit and they really weren't to her liking. She's moving good for her, relatively speaking, and just physically by far looked the best. Not the biggest filly, but she's really kind of now filled out towards the tail end of this 3-year-old campaign. Great coat on her. I'm going to take a shot with her, Greg, and look for her to be kind of in that stalking trip on the outside.
Thank you, Maggie. 6-5 favoritism remaining with Pratt on Take Me to London.
Listen, Maggie's right about Ragtime Signal. The last race is fast enough to win the race, and the horse is 7-1. I am not going to knock anybody that wants to take the 1, 2, or 7 in this race, whether I like them or not. This is a wide open race, and I'm almost embarrassed to have locked into the 3 Take Me to London. Who you pick a horse like this, you almost have to win, otherwise you're kind of a fool, because his form is not that good, and you end up with Brad Cox and Flavien Prat. I end up with him, so here I am. But I agree, it's amazing. I've never seen a horse like this. 4 starts, he's run the exact same buyer figure every single time he's run.
Pretty
incredible when you think about it, right?
And
so he is consistent, but consistently slow.
I don't see a world in how this horse should be 6-5.
No, it's sort of nuts, but it's Brad Cox and Flavien Prat. It's like you look through, and they see Brad Cox, they see Flavien, and they've just gone nuts in a race that's sort of wide open. And the truth is, and I'm not in a position where I can sort of make fun of it, because I picked the horse too, so I'm just as bad as everybody else, win or lose. But sometimes it seems like races that are, the more complicated the race, the more the public sometimes hones in on one horse. You know what I mean? And our feeling is the more complicated it is, the more open you're supposed to be about it, and the more inclined you are to take bigger prices. I had no imagination here. I'm not proud of it.
I mean, looking at what we're dealing with in terms of the board, does the 4 not become a little more interesting now as the potential speed of the speed?
Well, I got to think Tomei is supposed to be right on top of him. I don't think Ricardo's going to rock it. And I'll tell you something else. Would Take Me to London, I think that Flavien comes out running. Now, I'm not saying he's going to outrun the 4, but I don't think it's going to be a case of the 4 leading these on a merry chase. He's not for me, but like I said, you bet whoever you like it here. I'm not going to knock anybody's pick in this race.
Pick 4 here in race 2. After Ivy Girl kicked off the card before we came on for the start of our coverage, that was for Amelia Green with Manny Franco. Let's go upstairs. Chris Griffin, the call.
Goes in. All set. And they're off. Ragtime Sizzle shows speed, so does Timia towards the outside. At the rail, Carolina Smoke Show wants to join the early fray, and in between horses, here comes Auroralina. Auroralina now puts a nose in front. It's a hard-fought pace early on, as at the rail, Carolina Smoke Show will not take back. Goes right after Auroralina, and these two are in a pace duel up front. Carolina Smoke Show with a neck advantage, right back to second Auroralina, 22.59 for that opening quarter mile with no breather up top. Taking off the pace was Timia. Relaxed back to third, is back for more, and here comes Take Me to London and Flavien Prat. The gray is on the move from fourth, had a pace to set up, has now taken third and moves in closer. From the back, calling an audible, is trying to run on. Ragtime Sizzle is at the back. Carolina Smoke Show has put away Auroralina, but 2 new contenders confront this leader. They reach the top of the stretch, 45 and 4. Carolina Smoke Show still there. Can Take Me to London reel in this leader? Calling an audible from way out of it. A furlong left to go. Carolina Smoke Show has a 3.5, almost 4-length cushion here. Still battling on Take Me to London. Carolina Smoke Show wanted to get to the lead and is going to win it at 9-1. Carolina Smoke Show wins it over Take Me to London, then came Timia and Ragtime Sizzle in 1 minute 17.51 seconds.
Welcome to those just joining us on Fox Sports 2. Good to have you here for the Saturday card early on here at Aqueduct in South Ozone Park, New York. Race 2 has just happened. We're going to show you what took place in the first leg of the Pick 4. Greg Wolf alongside New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling, and 2 big stakes later today coming up on the turf.
As the turf season is starting to wind down, but we got those races to talk about, and I'm going to tell you a big tip of the hat to Omar Hernandez Moreno for showing aggressive with a horse that did not project to be forward at all. Was aggressive with Carolina Smoke Show, and she smoked the field at 9-1. Maybe the biggest price on the board, Greg.
Big time
Yep.
adjustment here and tactics from this young rider who made the difference with this ride being aggressive.
And I'm wondering if Take Me to London, the favorite who finished a bad second with a perfect trip, maybe came back and ran the 5th 50 buyer of her career.
May have.
She has been a model of consistency, slow consistency, but Omar Hernandez Moreno blew up this pick 5. First race we saw 7-1. Now we got 9-1. So if you're alive in this pick 5, or even the pick 4 starting here, good luck.
Yeah, look, thought the 4 was going to be the speed. This one out-quicked that one, got to the front, and tactics made the difference here. Great job.
I was thinking this horse was going to fold around the turn, but just never really was in doubt once they came in the stretch. The 3 didn't make any real run whatsoever.
Prices from race 2 coming up in just a moment. Here's what's ahead, presented by Claiborne Farm. Pick 6 carryover today, just a couple of races away. Starts in the 5th, just over $16,000 in that pick 6 carry. And then the late pick 5, of course, follows that in race 6. That begins with an interesting turf sprint. Before we get into our stakes action, we'll be off the air by then, but Grade 3 Jockey Club Oaks and Laura Lynn, perfect record came to a close at Keeneland. We'll see if she can get back on track. She started her career 5 for 5 for Graham Motion. You can play all the action today, including the pick 6 carryover, including a mandatory pay pick 5 that starts in the next race. At Naira Bets, bonus 200, code to use for new members at sign up. Get that $200 deposit match new customer bonus right there at NairaBets.com. Carolina Smoke Show, not, I think, what anyone expected tactically here in this second race. Go to the front and go gate to wire.
And you made a good point to me afterwards. This horse off the claim for Pat Quick. So we want to know who was the deciding factor for this horse being forward in here. Was it the rider? Was it the trainer? They get together? Because whoever came up with this decision, and Omar Hernandez Moreno just really kind of pulled it off with perfectly. This horse ran very well to win this race relative to this field. A very good idea, getting the longest shot of the board home.
Yeah, well done. $20 horse at least.
She had some back races. She just really gone the wrong way. She ran that race in Saratoga 2 back for Witt. Coming in from out of town where she looked like she couldn't lose. She was a bad third. She wasn't even close last time with a wide trip, but a different style today and a nice win.
All right, let's head downstairs to Maggie with the winning rider.
That's right, here with Omar, and what a ride. I know that you work closely with Quick and his stable in the morning, so had you been working this filly and getting her ready, off a little bit of a layoff and first off the claim?
Yes, actually, I've been helping him out in the morning. We actually been working with this filly. She's been doing really good, and I was like, Pat, I actually liked her in this race. And yeah, we just been working with her.
Whose decision was it to send her to the lead?
You know what? We had the 1 hole. I called Pat. He's not here today.
Yeah.
I called Pat, and I'm like, we're on the 1 hole. He's like, oh my God, you're going to get buried if you don't. And that's what we did, and it worked out.
She seemed to really kind of relish not having dirt kicked in her face and got very, I don't want to say comfortable because she was hounded the whole way, but it seemed to embolden her, make her confident.
Yes, actually, which surprised me, you know. When I took her to the lead, I knew I had the one outside, and I'm like, oh, I was hoping so much that he just didn't go because he was going to get in front of me, and, we were going to get dirt. But after that, she was clear the whole way, and she just kind of went.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it when a jock works closely with the trainer in the mornings, putting in all the work, and it pays off. So congratulations. I'm sure a good feeling win, too.
Thank you so much. And I want to thank Pat and all the owners and everything that contributed to this, and I appreciate it.
Well done, you. It was good to see you in the winner's circle, Omar.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
The Carolina Smoke Show, making good on the teamwork, which is making the dream work, Greg.
Great call by these connections, executed to perfection as well. Omar Hernandez Moreno, Pat Quick, well done. This one just claimed, by the way. You're out dueling Flavien Prat and Ricardo Santana Jr., among others.
You know, you could just see how happy he was. And I think sometimes we lose sight on how much it'll mean to a rider to win a race. You know, you look at these races, it's a lower level race. But for him, you could just see how happy he was. Now, that was nice. That was a really good interview.
And to make a call like that on a horse no one probably expected to be in front and see it pay off, very gratifying.
And it's good to see people making aggressive moves and having them pay off, because I think a lot of times people are afraid to be aggressive because if it blows up on them, they're going to think they're going to get second guessed. As Richie said, I'd rather a guy makes an aggressive mistake than a passive mistake.
Let's move on to race 3. Start of a mandatory payout, pick 5, entry level allowance conditions, 7/8 of a mile. Where do you stand on Blue Kingdom? Because his races, certainly his last couple, at Delaware and Laurel, he lays over this field.
I agree, and he's the conversation here. He's currently 9-5, and he is going to be the favorite. He's a pretty substantial favorite looking at the pick 3s and the doubles, and he should be. I mean, he finished just behind post time last time out. Now, he's
runner-up in last year's Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile.
He's going to have to rate, but he's got the right post to rate. There are, a number of speeds inside of him as he cuts back in distance. This is a horse, people talk about Jamie Ness improving horses. Well, this is a good example of that. This horse, the improvement is dramatic for Jamie. But now he's got to come to New York and do it here. So I'm going to try to beat him, but I'm not going to be surprised when he beats me.
8-5 right now. That price, we'll see how much shorter it gets. Was 5-2 on the morning line. Doesn't need to prove it in New York. Laura Lynn started her career a perfect 5 for 5, including a victory in the Saratoga Oaks Invitational. That streak, though, came to an end at Keeneland in the Queen Elizabeth II Cup. Should get back on track for trainer Graham Motion in the Jockey Club Oaks later today. We'll have a preview coming up.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks, boost your bankroll with weekly promotions, and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Back on America's Day of the Races here on our Fox Sports 2 coverage. How are your ice skating skills?
I actually haven't skated in a while, but I used to be a big skater. I mean, not a, believe it or not, I played hockey as a little kid, very little.
We had
Get up too early.
pretty big name hockey player get injured at dinner the other night.
Who?
Star for
What do you mean?
Jersey Devils. ABR race of the week.
Tough steak or something? What?
Tripped and fell, I think, and hurt his hand. Crazy story. ABR race of the week. Jockey Club Oaks, grade 3, mile 3/8 over the turf. And this race has to start when you look at Laurel Lynn and what she's been able to accomplish. First 5 starts of her career. Graham Motion says he feels going even longer is going to be better for her.
Well, you want to hope so. It is a mile and 3/8, and she's never gone this distance, but she's good. I mean, she wins the mile and 3/16 here. She's tractable, and the thing that gives her a real edge over Fionn, who, first of all, she might be better than Fionn, but second of all, she's more tactical. She puts herself in the game, whereas Fionn is much more pace dependent. And so you don't have to worry about the trip. I absolutely think that Laurel Lynn is the horse to beat. I'm going to try to beat her. I'm going to try to beat her with a number 5, who's actually, I believe, finishing second in this race. And that is, sorry, I'm getting my
Evershed.
paper. That is Evershed. Ricardo Santana's going to ride that horse, but I think Laurel Lynn's much the horse to beat. I'm a little worried about Fionn off her last race. I'm not worried about her the distance, but I'm not worried about Laurel Lynn. I know she didn't win, but she still ran very well.
Been incredibly consistent. Graham Motion said he was actually very happy with that performance. Ran very well, just didn't get the win. First loss of her career, runner-up finish. Meanwhile, Fionn, Brad Cox, Pratt will ride. She beat Nitrogen. That was her crowning moment this summer in the Belmont Oaks Invitational. I know you felt Nitrogen maybe ran the better race that day, but still, she got the win. She won 3 graded stakes in a row until she just got beat.
And she's the only horse to finish ahead of Nitrogen this entire year on the turf. But the fact that Opulent Restraint put up such a fight made Nitrogen really have to battle her, and it set it up for Fionn to get her in basically just the absolute last stride. A heartbreaking defeat for Nitrogen, who, to me, I think we all agree, is the hands-down 3-year-old champion this year, Philly champion, and deservedly so. I don't like her last race. That's what worries me. And she got a fast pace in the Regret. She got a fast pace in the Belmont Oaks. She did win at Kentucky Downs, but that wasn't that good a field, but she did show she can handle the distance.
I know she didn't start her career 5 for 5 on the turf like Laura Lynn, but that's a pretty darn good record of the grass,
No.
too. 6 for 9 lifetime with a runner-up and a third as well.
Did her last race bother you, though? It bothered me. She was just so far back the whole way.
Yeah, she was. And they're making an equipment change. We'll see if that can do anything to wake her up a little bit. Now, how bad was the slow beginning? You didn't think?
I didn't think it was. She was just flat. I just thought she just really didn't ever get into the race. I mean, she's not a horse that has a lot of speed, but she really lingered back there, and then she never made a run. I know the race was dominated by forwardly placed horses, but she should have done some running in there. She's better than that. Now, listen, she's got a good trainer, but the blinkers off almost makes me feel like Brad's a little bit desperate, too, with her to try to figure it out, and this is kind of the last stop for her this year. She's not going to go out to California and run the Matriarch. You take a shot in a race like this, a big purse. I am shocked that no Europeans wanted to come over for this race. They have such an advantage with the fact that they're bred and training to go these longer distances, and $350,000. There's some horses sitting over there that should look at this race, and they'll cry when they look at the PPs. Now, Laura Lynn is very good.
It's amazing, though, yeah, with that kind of money in the line.
I'm just shocked
Not
that
more
nobody
names
wants to come,
showing
yeah.
up. Part of that Jockey Club Oaks, this late pick 5 today. Go after the late pick 5, and if you do, and you play it with Naira Bets, an additional $5,000 pool that you will share with everyone who hits it. You got to opt in to take advantage of that hit and split for the late pick 5 today. Be sure and don't leave any money on the table. Opt in now.
You heard it from Greg. That's an order. And I
if
agree
you
with
forget, that's okay. That's more for the rest of us.
it. I've opted in.
Race 3 starts a mandatory pay pick 5 and centers around this one. Blue Kingdom. Can he transfer that form from out of town here for Jamie Ness and Jamie Rodriguez? Let's go downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale.
And we'll check in with that favorite, Greg. Coming in from Maryland, the Maryland bred, number 7, Blue Kingdom. I love seeing the 2-punch and the not for loves as the on the bottom side of those pedigrees being the Dam sires. 2 of my favorite Maryland bred sires, that's for sure. But looking at this guy as he does emerge out of that Maryland Million Classic, finishing behind Barbadian Runner and Post Time, 2 very nice horses. I know Post Time was up upset. Maybe he was coming back off of too short of a layoff, but Barbadian Runner, he is the younger horse, but he's very, very nice. As you know, I wonder about this horse. He's turning back in distance today to the 7 furlongs, which physically he looks very capable of handling. He's actually not, you know, that big, long, lanky type, though he does have quite a big stride, and he is marching around the paddock really nicely here. But he's a bit more compact, so he's kind of versatile in the way that he's put together. Now, I think the question that he answers today, and while he did win, going 3 back, going the 7 furlongs, this is a bit of tougher company. And, you know, the question is, did he improve with the more ground, or did he just improve with Jamie Ness and did he improve getting to those leads? As we'll see if he's able to do so here today, but does make a really nice impression in the paddock. You know, trust issues might be the one that has to go. His hand's a bit forced from that inside position, but I also think he's a horse that arguably could be best when he gets to control him. We'll see, you know, we saw that gate to wire winner and an upset in the first. We'll see if that trend does continue here, but I do like what I'm seeing from Trust Issues as he kind of steps up after graduating last time out from that condition. He's marching around the paddock. He's keen, he's eager, and he is, you know, very much the sprinter of this group. You know, I wonder with the 7 furlongs, are we stretching him a little bit with that? Because he's a bigger horse, but he's very compact. I mean, he has a very short back to him overall. So he is interesting from the potential of being the kind of inside speed. As number 2, he'll be second off the layoff here as a late 3-year-old. Does get Lasix for the very first time in his career, and in his comeback race, he couldn't keep up. And watching him, when he came around the turn, entering the stretch, he was already on his outside lead. So he swapped early on, about mid-turn. And when horses do that, I just find that they're tired. So obviously, he probably needed that start. I was in the paddock, so I don't have anything to base a comparison off of, but he looks incredibly well defined here. I like the extra half a furlong, if you will, the 7/8, because I've always felt that he was definitely kind of that middle distance runner from 7/8 to a mile. At least that's what his physical makeup would suggest, and maybe needed that start and getting back on track today with the addition of Lasix, Greg.
Interesting horse who had been in some tough spots briefly in a Triple Crown race to kick off this year.
I bet him last time. He must have bled, but this is a tougher spot than the last race. That's the problem.
6-1 for the Dutrow Barn, second off a lengthy time away. We'll be back. Race 3, start of a mandatory pay pick 5. This one right here, Blue Kingdom, the one to beat for trainer Jamie Ness.
Now 650. $1,650,000. $1,650,000. Anybody else want $650,000 bid today? $1,650,000. $1,600,000. Thank you.
RaceLens is the most in-depth product in horse racing, with unique features found nowhere else. True odds, predictive analysis, and pace projection. RaceLens. It will change the way you follow horse racing and take your game to the next level.
Weekends are for winners at Naira Bets. Opt into the Late Pick 5 hit and split bonuses to claim your share of $5,000 every Friday through Sunday. $5,000 hit and splits every weekend when you bet with Naira Bets.
Number 1 is Mo Donegal by Uncle Mo. And they're off in the Remsen. As they come on for the finish, and it's going to be tight here in the Remsen. Mo Donegal. Mo Donegal bearing down on the outside. It's Mo Donegal and early voting, and it is Mo Donegal to win the Wood Memorial. And it will be Mo Donegal to win the Test of the Champion, the Belmont Stakes.
New York breds. Race them.
Respect them.
Bet them.
Respect them.
Breed them.
Respect them.
Buy them.
Respect them.
Train them for a second career.
Respect them.
Join us in respecting thoroughbreds at every stage of life.
Learn more at nybreads.com.
Back on our Saturday coverage here on Fox Sports 2. You're watching America's Day at the Races. It is brought to you by Hillendale at Alapa, or 5 minutes to post. Be a fraction longer until the start of this mandatory pay pick 5 here in race 3. And Blue Kingdom, as you mentioned earlier, coming out of the Maryland Million Classic. Post time didn't win that race. Last year's runner-up at the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, but did finish third behind post time, Blue Kingdom. We'll get to him in a minute. We start with trust issues.
I mean, one thing I like about him is he just keeps improving in his races. The problem is he probably has to improve a bit more to win here.
I can. Interesting second coming back off the layoff.
Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to bet something for insanity insurance. Hopefully for his connections, the reason he ran out is bleeding.
Tiz Marcus has huge races, 15-1.
He has his race 2 back's a little hard to believe, and then last time he was awful.
He ran it in May at Churchill. He ran it in April at Oaklawn.
I'm not buying it.
All right. Past the Hat went by. Here's Butta, who comes off a career best.
I think Past the Hat is possible in here. I think Butta, if he runs his last, is a chance. Where you and I are trying to figure out, he was with the all-time biggest They News in that race last time, being 2-1.
My Matoli, Carlos Martin, Ricardo Santana Jr.
He's my pick. He's had a little time to freshen up and improve. He's got some fast races. He's run against good horses. I like him.
And the one to beat, 7-5, Blue Kingdom.
Nah, I have no knock on him other than I want to see him do it in New York. But, I mean, this horse has run incredibly well since Jamie Ness claimed him.
So let's take a look at this 7-5 favorite in that Maryland Million Classic. Again, a race where a little bit shockingly post-time, a runner-up from last year's Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile did not win. Round up second, Blue Kingdom was third behind him.
Yeah, but I mean, it's probably the best race he ran, even though he won his first 2 races off the claim for Jamie Ness. A mile and an eighth. Good horses. I thought this was an excellent effort by him. The race was falling apart late. Listen, if he runs these races, he's probably going to win. The problem is he's got to come to New York and do it. And while Jamie Ness has had success here in New York, it's nowhere near the success that he has out of town, whether it's Maryland or Parks. And I kind of want to see this horse do it here. He might, but I want to see it before I bet on him.
Short price. Can he win without the lead?
Well, that's another question, right? Can he win without the lead? He's been able to control, right, in his 3 starts since Jamie got him, and he's not getting the front here. Now, he's in a good stalking spot, but that doesn't mean he's going to win without the lead. Whereas my Matoli, you know that he's a horse that's effective without the lead. He's obviously not getting it here. I wonder if Carlos just thought he needed a little time, you know? He ran in November, then he came back in February, and he ran 6 tough races in there. Just give him a little time. Maybe he was sort of tailing off a little bit. He's got some fast races, got some good races, and I thought maybe coming off the layoff, he could run a race, and don't mind getting Ricardo.
Late June, last time we saw him on the racetrack in the afternoon. Let's go to Maggie for more.
I totally agree with that sentiment when it comes to number 6 in here, My Matoli, because when I last saw him, I thought he just looked like a tired horse. I mean, I wrote in my notes, uncharacteristically quiet in the preliminaries. So coming back today, while he was quiet in the paddock again, and obviously that comes with mental maturity as he is nearly 4 now, he did get a little bit more lively once he hit the racetrack, and he just looks very strong overall. Now, maybe he needs a bit of a tightener, a little heavier, but still, I do like what I'm seeing from this horse, and I like the 7/8s for him. I wouldn't want him going too much further. I know a mile's well within his wheelhouse, but I think the 7/8 should be the perfect spot for him coming back to the races today. I also like cutting back for number 5, Butta, who will face open company for the first time in his career here for Gary Siaka, and he earned a well-fought victory last time out, and I've always thought that a little less ground's better because he is built much more like a sprinter. I mean, he is really built downhill. There's very elevated hindquarters. He's getting a big warm-up there from Kendrick Carmouche, who got to know him last time out and delivered a great ride. So I like the fact that Kendrick does stick here, but again, facing some tough customers, to be fair, as he comes out of State Bred Company for the first time. I'm going to try with the inside with trust issues, riding that upward trajectory and the fact that he should be the speed in here. At least I hope that's what Christopher Elliott is thinking as well.
6-1 on the horse on our screen. Elliott on trust issues, who Maggie was talking about with that speed from the inside. Past the hat, meanwhile, Jose Lezcano will be aboard the 4 at 7-1, who tried turf last start. Was a long time away after the maiden win, gone from July of 23 until July of 25.
He's a tough read, right? Because the 2 good figures he's run, which still probably aren't quite good enough to win here, were on a sloppy track and on the turf. And in this race where he ran very well, and this was coming off a layup, this was first time for Bill, he was on a rail, which was very good that day. Inside speeded extremely well. In the winter, while he closed, he came up the rail and got a good trip. Now he came back with a big win in a fast track in a subsequent start. But he ran so badly in his next race in a dry track. I mean, he was never even engaged in there with Flavian. He was a little wide early after breaking a step slow, but he got a reasonable enough trip and just didn't do any running. Having said that, he came back and he ran better on the turf. But you do wonder, sloppy track and turf, is he necessarily a fast track horse? But I can see the merits for him. He's 8-1. I'm not going to. I picked him second here. I thought he was a little interesting.
Jose Lezcano again will ride, and yeah, broke his maiden second time out, and then a long time away on the shelf. Came back with a huge effort, but as you said, wet track. Did not look good in the follow-up effort on fast going at Saratoga this summer. So we'll see what happens here. Now 4-5, finally odds on Blue Kingdom.
Did you think he'd be odds on?
I thought he should be.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not gonna knock that. I'm gonna try to beat him, but I get it. I mean, his 2 races recently are better than these. I'm not gonna deny it.
But there is a bit of a question mark. Can he sit and stalk, or does he need to have the lead?
And I think with the presence of the 1, 3, and 5, they're just faster horses, aren't they?
He did win off the bench stalking, but that was a much easier
at
group
a different
than he's gonna have
time.
to deal with.
And he's been able to control. But listen, he also drew the right post to try to rate to be outside,
No
right?
question. All right, see what happens here. Blue Kingdom, even money now from the outside post with Jamie Rodriguez. Mandatory pay pick 5 starts here in the 3rd. Chris Griffin with the call.
Matoli. Blue Kingdom. Matoli hesitates briefly. Backs away again. Blue Kingdom to the outside. All set. And they're off. Trust issues off slowly. Speed to the outside from Butta. Butta is the leader. Blue Kingdom right there is a challenging second. Down towards the inside, here comes I Can is in third. In between horses, shared fourth is past the hat with Matoli out wider 3 wide. The 2 at the back, Tis Marcus with the trailer slow starting, Trust Issues. Blue Kingdom now will assert, and Jamie Rodriguez on the front end. Butta is back for more. Butta at the rail, 22-4 for that opening quarter mile. Chasing out there wider is Matoli is in hand. Cruise Control right now is in third. Just behind them, out wider, Tis Marcus is now fourth. Past the hat is in between horses. Right there at the rail, I Can. The trailer is Trust Issues. Blue Kingdom is the leader. Turns it up, and Blue Kingdom just rolling right along. Butta is in hot pursuit here. Right there is a clear second. Matoli trying to keep up from third. I Can, all in. Not making up ground. Trust Issues from the back. Same could be said to Marcus. They reach the top of the stretch, and Blue Kingdom sprints away. Blue Kingdom trying to powerhouse away from the field is now 6 lengths in front. Butta continues to give game chase. A furlong left to go. Blue Kingdom has not come back to the field. Inside the final 16th, it is all front-running Blue Kingdom to win this one easily. Butta was second, Matoli, and Trust Issues in 1 minute 21.39 seconds.
Blue Kingdom made 4-5. Looked like incredible value here.
I know the track's been playing quickly, but this is a fast race, and he put a hurting on Butta. I think ran pretty well in finishing second here, but he just embarrassed this field, frankly, a tick under 121 and 2/5. The track's been playing very quickly, but this was some performance by him. I mean, this horse has completely turned it around. Wow. I mean, obviously the one not getting, not breaking, and the 3 not showing speed made it a little easier. So he got away with a very slow first quarter, relatively speaking. But I don't think it made any difference.
Too good for this group, and got pushed outside a little bit early out of the gate. He's won 4 of his last 5 now, and talk about turning around. This horse was nothing close to what he's been and the last few starts since moving to this barn.
And this wasn't a bad field behind him. It was a fairly decent field, and he made them look bad. So does he win by about 4.5 lengths in here, somewhere like that? 5 lengths. It's a big win by him.
7-5-6-1. Yeah, long way back to Buddha. Blue Kingdom now 5 wins and 18 career starts, but again, 3 of those have come since claimed by Jamie Ness. And they've been next stratosphere level wins.
This is a very, very fast race this horse ran. I mean,
he ran a 92 buyer in that 3rd place finish behind Postown. Is this going to be faster than that?
Well, if Butter ran an 85, right, he ran a 95 or so. So, yeah, probably. Maybe even faster. It's a big performance by this horse.
4-5 favorite, Blue Kingdom with a win. Jamie Ness, DEA Thoroughbred Racing, and Jamie Rodriguez. Prices when we come back. Graham Motion, big chance later today in both of the stakes on the grass, and looking to build off what he did yesterday in the notebook with Jaxer and a brilliant ride from Flavien Prat. We'll take a look back right after this.
Seize the Gray wins convincingly.
Seize the Gray. He's going to seize the day in the Pennsylvania Derby.
Seize the Gray is still there. Seize the Gray wins the Preakness.
Back with you on our Saturday coverage here on Fox Sports 2. It's brought to you in part by America's Best Racing, making the sport easier to follow. Explore stories, betting tips, and race day insights at americasbestracing.net. Blue Kingdom, 4 wins the last 5 starts. Our winner circle lead-in brought to you by the Fasig-Tipton December digital sale. Entries close November 19th. Enter now at digital.fasigtipton.com. And good for Jamie Rodriguez pick up this in-form mount?
I mean, obviously this one, you know, I'm not sure that you and I couldn't have ridden this horse. I'd have fallen off coming out of the gate. I don't know about you, but I think Jamie Rodriguez hasn't gotten some of the credit he deserves because there's so many good riders here and so many people riding well. He's come in here and instantly started winning races. Not an easy thing to do.
Let's head downstairs to Maggie.
And I'm pleased to be joined here by Daryl Abramowitz of DEA Thoroughbreds. And I mean, they were talking about Jamie Rodriguez riding for Jamie Ness. Well, in the Mid-Atlantic, they are the dynamic duo, Daryl. And you were just telling me about claiming this horse. Took a little bit of a shot off that long layoff.
Yeah, you know, I always like taking horses, unfortunately, off Brittany Russell. I look for things, you know, in between the lines. I saw a lot of the Maryland bred stuff I liked. And we took a shot for the 30 that day. And he showed up and, you know, that's why we're here today. And the horses, you know, got a lot of power. We got a big back end and just a nice horse,
He really is a nice horse. And, you know, you ran him and taking advantage of the Maryland Million program. Ran into some tough customers last time. But other than that, he's undefeated for you and Jamie.
Yeah, more or less. You know, we took a chance against Post Time, a big Maryland bred horse and everything else. We did good there. We could have pointed to the claiming crown, but we'll leave that to Point Doom. That's a good story for the owners having a cancer survivor and everything else. They claimed the horse from me. Hopefully he wins over there and does good. And we came over here at Blue Kingdom, let them have it over there with Point Doom. So it worked out for the best of all, and the racing gods are with us today.
We have a nice group here with you, too. I'm sure you guys are going to go celebrate.
Oh, yeah, big time. We're really happy. My brother came down, the wife and everything else, my brother's wife, all the friends, and my, you know, everyone else. So my phone's ringing off the hook. Jamie Ness came down, so, you know.
The lesser spotted in New York, Jamie Ness, I'd say.
Yeah, when he comes down, we know the horse is ready to go. You know, we want to win, and we have, you know, if it don't win, it is what it is. As long as they come out of the race good and healthy, we're happy. But winning is everything, and this game is, you know, I can't explain it. When you win, forget about it. You can't explain it.
The highest of highs. As we know, there can be the lowest of lows. Well, congratulations. He was definitely very good today.
Thank you much. Thank you much. Let's go, Blue Kingdom.
He said it, Greg. He's on fire, Blue Kingdom.
I would love to see this as an award, not necessarily the Eclipse Awards, but in some sort of award show. This is sort of an under-the-radar, one of the great claims of the year.
Oh, I agree. You know, I think there should be some sort of, not Eclipse, because Eclipse is for the highest level in racing, but I think there should be some sort of awards for the hard knockers, the horses that keep the game going day in and day out. And not necessarily in New York, you know, a lot of places where they run, and I agree. I think there should be a way to sort of honor some of these horses. You know, I think I've never liked that Vox Populi award. I think it's misused. I don't think it should be going to well-known horses winning Eclipses. I think it should go to horses like this, you know, the sort of lesser names, the cool hard knockers.
Claimed for $30,000 to start off his 4-year-old campaign. Actually won that race. But then for New Connections, has won 3 of 4 stakes placed in Maryland behind Post Time, as we mentioned. Incredible claim. Jamie Ness has obviously done a great job, with this runner. Let's move on. And our Spendthrift Farm, 2-year-old race of the day. Spendthrift, of course, with the 6-time reigning champion, General Sire in a Mischief. Sire of this year's Kentucky Derby. Belmont and Travers winner Sovereignty. Mile and a 16th over the inner turf. All trying to get that first career win in this maiden special weight. Scope. One first time out, so why is he here? Got DQ'd and placed second, and then ran 4th, beat only 3 lengths in the Grade 2 Pilgrim against the top 3 finishers who all came back to run in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf.
Yeah, his Pilgrim was better than his maiden win. And he was justifiably disqualified, but he also ran the best race that day. So he's just the horse to beat. There's no doubt about it. I'm going to try to beat him with the 7, A Little at First, who I thought got a less than stellar trip in his last race and can run a lot better, but I'm not. I mean, Scope's the horse to beat. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, no question. For Todd Pletcher, Manny Franco will ride. Let's look back to yesterday. Of course, Saturday could be another huge day for Graham Motion. Friday went pretty good for him, too, thanks to a terrific ride from Flavian Pratt and Jaxer in the Notebook.
Yeah, this was some ride by him. You can see that Flavian, he's in the light blue silk, sort of 6th in there between horses. Flavian wants to get outside, but he realizes I can't get outside because the horse to beat, the 5, is outside of me, and he's going to keep going forward. So I'm going to get blind switched and lose all chance, and he ducked inside. And a lot of horses lose momentum ducking inside, and I do think maybe being inside was a little bit helpful on the inner. I don't think it was a massive bias. But boy, this 2-year-old lightly raced horse showed a lot of professionalism doing that, because a lot of horses go down there and they just get intimidated and they don't continue to move forward.
Coming off a maiden win, now a stakes winner in the notebook against New York breds. And yeah, you make a move like that, it does not always work out. As we go to Maggie, it certainly worked out well yesterday for Pratt & Company.
Yeah, and Flavien Prat saying that there's about room for 2 horses in there, and I stuck my horse's head in there, and he went through, noting that he was comfortable in those tight quarters. And Jaxer, a horse that I remember debuting up in Saratoga, not necessarily the most impressive, as you know, you kind of, with these slumbers, they are good for the limited number of mares that he has bred, but they're often just kind of raw looking and a bit backwards. He has developed so much in the past 3 to 4 months, both mentally and physically. And I spoke with Grand Motion's assistant, Ian Wilson, yesterday, and he noted that the blinkers have made a world of difference for this horse, who earned a 79 buyer, I believe, for that victory yesterday. And definitely, you know, we look forward to the future, and we have such a comprehensive turf program for these New York breds. I would say that Jaxer will be one of the headliners as we roll into those races next year. But guys, another, you know, nice horse by Slumber. Like I said, we don't see many of them, but he has definitely made a name for himself, siring some very nice New York bred turf horses.
A former Grade 1 Manhattan winner.
Well, it's an interesting story, actually, because, you know, when Bobby Frankel passed away, Juddmonte didn't give horses to Chad Brown. And, you know, for Chad and any trainer in that situation, you kind of want to prove something. Well, Slumber was a Juddmonte horse. Came over here, Bill Mott had him, and he won an allowance race or 2, but didn't really do much. And Chad Brown purchased him for Mike Dubb and others at the sale for horse racing age. And remember, he said to me, I'm going to show Juddmonte they need to give me horses. And he did, winning Grade 1s. I mean, I think multiple Grade 1s with him, and just completely turning his career around. And subsequently, Juddmonte's been giving him horses ever since.
Good move.
Yeah, it's worked out well. Not that they haven't done well with Bill.
Yeah. We're going to look ahead to, we talked about the Jockey Club Oaks. The boys get their chance. Knickerbocker, Grand Motion, big chance in both of those races, as mentioned. Got a deal, though, with Air Recruit. Trickery does. One of many contenders in that 1 1/8 race for the boys. Arnaud Delacour had back-to-back wins before getting beat at Kentucky Downs.
Prince of Monaco's too good for Moose, an impressive winner of the best pal. Miramondi's all hot, but Prince of Monaco too good.
Prince of Monaco, standing at Claiborne Farm.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
He's a running son of a gun.
Papa Cap now has the advantage.
A graded stakes winning 2-year-old. Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile runner-up at 2. Multiple Grade 1 placings at 3. Finished in the top 4 in 11 out of 12 starts.
And from here on in, it's just a matter of how far. Papa Cap, an easy winner of the best pal.
Papa Cap, standing at Walmack.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you.
You're watching America's Day of the Races on Fox Sports 2 as we get set for the 4th on the card, 1/16 on the inner turf. And that is Scope, the one to beat without question in this race. Graduated in the debut only to get DQ'd. And then as technically a maiden, ran very well in the Grade 2 Pilgrim against the top 3 finishers in there who would come back to compete in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Let's head downstairs to Maggie.
We'll take a look here at a horse not named Scope, who I do believe is much the horse to beat. Don't have any problems with your favorite, as he'll look to make amends on being disqualified from that winning effort first time out. But looking at number 11, Copa de Plata, does pick up Eric Hansel for the injured Sahin Savachi, as I thought he ran pretty well last time, and it was a step in the right direction for him. He was taken back from that more outside post position. He got over, he had to settle in the 2 path, then he got to the rail in the second turn, bit of magic by Sahin, and then he rallied well in between horses. And this is one that, you know, when he debuted, I thought would want to go further. Obviously, that has been the case, as he'll try it for the 4th time, or 3rd time, I should say, going long. But he's just developed really nicely. He's strengthened up here for Mark Cassie, really looks fantastic. He's always been a professional sort, but I wonder if he can get, not necessarily that it's Eric's MO to go forward, but I just wish this horse would get a little bit more of a forward position. Obviously, the post position isn't doing him any favors yet again today. As we move on to the horse that I know Andy is interested in, number 7, A Little at First, is a New York bred taking on Open Company, but boy, does he fit with this group physically. I mean, this is a good-looking horse. I thought it first time out, but when he debuted up in Saratoga, he was just incredibly high-strung, really wound up. That's not the case. I wasn't in the paddock for his second start, which he did have a lot of trouble. Terrible beginning, bumped and checked, and it went wrong from the start, to say the least, and still running kind of respectably well that day. Javier Castellano will fill in for Dylan Davis on this guy, and he was beaten by Jaxer, who we talked about in that last segment in winning yesterday's Notebook, and even Newland, who finished 4th that day, would come back and win. This horse has just really gone forward mentally and physically. I don't mind him facing some Open Company rivals today. Moving on to the lone first-time starter in this field, and that's number 1, Royal Quest. Always pay attention and perk up when you see Not This Time in the top side of the pedigree, as he hits at 17% with his debuting 2-year-olds. This is a pretty good pedigree, as well as the dam. She was good at sprinting on the dirt, but he is half to Grade 1 winner, Constellation. Now, most of the family is more dirt inclined, mostly sprinting too, so this is a bit of a peculiar start for this horse, which also could mean that you might be just a bit slow. There has been 1 turf winner from 4 horses to try it. Look, he does not look overly turf meant to me, but then again, Not This Time progeny tend to run on the surface of the moon if they could. He's a little bit smaller, so again, I question the distance with him. Good looking sort. I would definitely take the wait and see approach, though. Still scratching my head a little bit about why we targeted this spot for the debut, Greg.
Maggie mentioning this horse, a half to Constellation, who was a dirt sprinter and a very good one. And, you know, I do think Ellen J. Foxwoods and Jamie Roth, she has some very clever names. And for those that don't remember Constellation, she was named Constellation because she had like white spots all over her and she looked like a constellation. So it was a great name, and she was a good horse. She won the Labray, Grade 1.
Well, Knickerbocker later today. Let's take a look at the field that will line up when we have signed off. By then, you'll be able to watch it on Our Bets, of course. 1 1/8 on the turf. Millionaire Trickery for Graham Motion in the field. A Recruit, who would put together back-to-back wins on the comeback before getting beat at Kentucky Downs. And Ohana Honor, who is a 7-5 morning line favorite. Pratt will ride for Shug McGahee.
It's funny with the 2 favorites because they have vulnerabilities. They're the exact opposite. Air Recruit, I'm a little concerned with the horse trying to get 1 1/8. Ohana Honor, I'm a little concerned 1 1/8 is too short for his best race. So while they are the first and second choices and the horses to beat, I think there are some questions where I think Trickery, who probably is better to mile 16th as well. I took Trickery as a bigger price. Graham Motion's horse has been running very well lately, and I'm hoping he can step forward in here. But he's going to have to show it because he's been disappointing since his good 3-year-old year.
Got a 7-5 favorite as mentioned in there, but it seems like a very wide open race.
Yeah.
That's race 9 on the card, 3:39 Eastern start time. And preceding that, of course, Jockey Club Oaks, Grade 3. But right now, start of a middle pick 4. In this 4th here, as we take a look at the 6. Scope, who even though this horse graduated first time out only to get DQ'd, ran, as you said, probably even better in the Pilgrim and Graded Stakes Company, still a couple other interesting runners in here.
I agree. I don't think he's so overwhelming that you can't try to beat him like I am with a 7, who I think a little at first is dangerous. Very
Royal
dangerous.
Quest, first-time starter Bill Mott with Jose Lezcano.
Who knows? Turf horse, dirt horse, we'll see. Those not this times, as Maggie said, they're remarkable.
I loved the dam of this one. Xanthique, Tom Morley, second-time starter.
Great claim by Tom Morley. Won, in fact, beat Ballon Rose at 1-5, debuting for Chad Brown. First time for Tom and paid $70 and won stakes. A good horse.
Bill Mott with this one as well. Woodster, blinkers on.
Yeah, another Bill Mott runner. And I watched the race. This horse just had a perfect trip and just backed up.
Stablemate
fast pace.
To the favorite. Here's Bellamy.
Yeah, I watched that race. I would say was a little wide, but just completely stopped. And I didn't think it was as wide as 3 or 4 wide in the turns.
Here's the favorite, Scope.
PP speak for himself. He's the horse to beat.
Little at first became even more interesting with what Jaxer did yesterday.
Yeah, and this horse had a ridiculous trip in his last start, wide and really out of position.
Yeah, beat by Jaxer, who won the notebook. Here's Brass Knucks, David Donk.
Yeah, stretching out for Dave. Going to have to show more, obviously.
Chad Brown, barn blinkers off Boss Henry.
And Flavian Pratt gets back on. They take the blinkers off and clearly didn't run well with blinkers last time.
Print is a brother to some pretty good ones on the grass.
Yeah, there's a ton of pedigree in there. Didn't do any running first time, though. Pretty soft trip, too.
Copa de Plata, Eric Cancel filling in for Marquesi.
I thought it had a pretty good trip overall last time, but still ran okay. It was a race dominated up front.
And Fleet and Ready, speed last start of the stretch out, now blinkers off.
Yeah, comes out of race. And then the winner came back to win at Gulfstream, 1 Buyer point slower. Second horse came back to win at Keeneland, 6 Buyer points slower. So while it looks like he comes out of a very live race, I'm not sure it was really that live.
3 minutes to post here in the fourth. Reminder for those of you playing today with Naira Bets, you can get a $15 bonus. By betting $75 each on Churchill Downs and Gulfstream. Got to opt in at NairaBets.com. All right, back to even money now on Scope. I guess to be expected with the 2 races we've seen from him so far. Do you agree?
That he's supposed to be
even
absolutely.
Money?
I mean, you know, you look at the big field, and you see a race, and there's a scratch, so it's an 11-horse field, and you think it's very hard an 11-horse field, turf horse a mile and a 16th, but you start going through. This is not a race that's filled with horses that are supposed to take money, right? I mean, the 9 is clearly going to be second choice. It's Flavian, it's Chad, ran well enough first time. My horse taking a little bit of money, but there's nobody else. Maybe the 11 takes a little money, but he doesn't have a particularly good post. It's just hard to have anybody in here to take a significant amount of money. And you got a horse that's stake face that finished 4th in the stake last time, and he has finished first. And this was legit.
This is that race, his debut.
And it was a very legit DQ, but I still think he ran the best race. You know, but he did slam this 2-horse, and I guess the argument was maybe the 2-horse was going by him when he came out and slammed him, and if he hadn't done that, he wouldn't have come back on and won. I don't know.
It was a stablemate, by the way.
Yes, uncoupled stablemate who got put up in there.
All right, 4-5 now. Wow.
Yeah,
next door
a little short for me.
Is where you have gone. Little at first. Javier Castellano filling in for the injured Dylan Davis. Horacio de Paz in second start on the grass. First time going long was behind Jaxer, who again just won the notebook yesterday.
Okay, was completely steadied out and shut off the start. Really bad, legit trouble. He ends up 3 wide in the first turn. He's 2, 3, 4, 5 wide on the second turn, angling out. I thought he actually ran fine in that race. I think he had significant trouble, but he had enough trouble to say that he's a lot closer to the favorite than his odds suggest.
Yeah,
so I took him.
Surprising to see me that big of a number. I agree. Let's go to Maggie.
Yeah, I'm taking Scope here. I couldn't see past him. He looked even better out on the racetrack than what he did in the paddock. But, you know, you still got to get exacta and trifectas. So let's take a look here at the horse who's second choice, who, if I had my way, I would much rather take a horse like Copa de Plata for second than number 9, Boss Henry, because I still don't really understand the turf angle, though Chad Brown seems adamant that he is a turf horse, and I respect that wholeheartedly. I will say this, he does look probably the best that I've seen him in his 3 career starts so far. He just looks brighter in his disposition. He looks bigger, he looks stronger, and he's moving incredibly well out there. So we'll see what we get from him today, looking to get back, especially with Flavien Prat aboard, to that first effort, one would assume. Number 10, Print, as you guys were mentioning, has a nice pedigree on the bottom side, being have to daunt the son of Munnings, big colt in here, has a lot of size to him. And look, Bobby Roboto isn't a trainer that gets him cranked up to win first time out necessarily. So while I didn't cover that race, which was wired by Tactically, he just looked green out there. He didn't have much early speed, which I don't think he's necessarily going to have more speed second time around, because he's just very laid back and kind of looks like a horse that, as his pedigree would suggest, wants to go further. 1 1/8 miles, probably just getting started for him, but he did show some interest late in the game there. Looks fit today, so we'll see if he can move forward at a massive number up there at 70-1, Greg.
See what happens. Start number 2. You got Ricardo Santana Jr. back aboard, but no question the one to beat. Scope, off what he's done his first 2 starts. Graduated only to get DQ'd. You felt warranted, though?
Yeah, I mean, he slammed that horse as he was going by him, and I think when you do that, you got to pay the fine. And I like the fact, I think the stewards have been very consistent since we've got the 2 new stewards in the booth. I think they've been very good about punishing herding, and I don't feel that there's been a lack of consistency, and I like the way they've been calling the inquiries, and we haven't seen that many takedowns.
So Scope will try again after crossing the wire first in his debut. Beat just 3 lengths, running 4th in a Grade 2 second start. Back in against Maiden Special here. It's our Spendthrift Farm 2-year-old race of the day. The 6 steps in as the one to beat with Manny Franco for Todd Pletcher. Chris Griffin the call.
Copa de Plata. Copa de Plata goes in. Fleet and ready. Start of a pick 4. All set. And they're off. Scope broke inward, brushed with Bellamy. Speed from in between horses from Brass Knucks right up to the front, but they line up on the front end, and here comes Fleet and Ready from a far outside draw. Brass Knucks and Fleet and Ready, they're 1-2 as they get set to move towards that turn. Just behind them at the rail is going to be now Bellamy, who's going to be in a shared 3rd and 4th, to the outside a little at first. Then further back comes Royal Quest, who's traveling in tandem there with Copa de Plata. They're 2x2x2 in the front 6. Following them comes Print, who's well settled now in the 7th position in front of Norris, who's in the red cap. Then comes Boss Henry towards the back end of the field. Scope is second to last with the trailer, Worcester. They're up the backstretch, 22.75. That posted opening quarter mile. Brass Knucks is the leader. Brass Knucks at a big number, ahead in front of Fleet and Ready. Right there is a challenging and stalking presence from second. A little at first, is now alone in 3rd. Bellamy is trying to keep up from 4th. Copa de Plata is on the move here from 5th. Is about to challenge and take that 4th position away. Then behind them comes Royal Quest. Very strung out field. Print starts to get encouraged to move forward. Boss Henry's to the outside of Norris from the back. Scope is still second to last, and the trailer Woodster. 47-4 for that half-mile time. 1:12-4 for 3/4. Brass Knucks is still there, still challenging Fleet and Ready. Here comes the run from a little at first. Copa de Plata's very wide. Bellamy, then comes Royal Quest to the inside, and Print on the far outside. Boss Henry starts to unleash, and Scope's got about 7-8 lengths to make up. A little at first is in front. Here comes Print unleashing a big rally. Scope from way out of it inside the final 16th. A little at first got the jump. A little at first got the win. A little at first wins it over Copa de Plata. Then Boss Henry. Scope is in a photo with Print. 1 minute 43.45 seconds.
A little at first. Horacio de Paz. Javier Castellano filling in for the injured Dylan Davis, and wins at 6-1.
And while the 6 sort of came in a little bit at the start, nothing that cost him the race, this horse, unlike last time, had a great break, and Javier did a sensational job of getting him in good position. And it's one of the reasons we've seen Javier doing as well as he's been lately. He's getting good position, particularly in turf races, and showing there's plenty of life left and riding well. And he got the right trip, but they were moving up front, and nobody really made a significant run at him. The 11 was second, but this horse got a clean trip today as opposed to last time.
7-11-9 photo for fourth, the big favorite, ducked in out of the gate, and at least compared to the debut, a lot further back.
Yeah. And they were moving enough that you would have thought you'd see a little bit of closing, but this horse was good. I mean, he was best. Good trip or not, I think he was best.
So 6-1 upset of horse. Wow, 3-5 in the end on Scope.
A little bit high. A little bit low, I mean. But he did not run as well as he's run in his other races.
No. And it was Scope who finished in fourth here, 7-11-9-6.
One thing I'd say at this time of the year, as we get towards the end of the season, there are going to be horses that just don't love the turf. It's just not the same as it is earlier in the year. And maybe with a little more give, and you're getting, the grass isn't really growing. So sometimes I will dismiss a bad effort by a horse, in a turf course like this.
It's going to play big in a mandatory pay pick 5 with a 3-5 defeated.
How about the 3 prices in this early pick 5?
We'll have the prices when we come back. 6-1. Let's go down to Maggie.
Oh, I just wanted to kind of expound on what Andy was saying. I could not agree more. You see horses that, especially from my perspective, look fantastic, have the form coming in, and they're never traveling in the bridle over this course. And to be fair, it's the only other course we have. We're up in Saratoga for like 2 and a bit months. And the other time we're here at Aqueduct. So this course takes a lot of running on, and it's just not pristine like it was, during the summer. And some horses are just not going to feel comfortable, not going to let themselves down and run over it. You have horses like A Little at First who looked beautiful over it and just skipped over the surface. But I agree with Andy. Take some of those bad efforts this time of year with a grain of salt.
6-1 upset, Javier Castellano for Horacio de Paz. And race 4 goes to A Little at First here with a 3-5 favorite defeated. We'll be back after a short break. Set up the pick 6.
I have 52,000 starts in my life. I've never seen one that could take as much as he did early and continue to improve.
And it is Gunite.
He's strong, he's attractive.
And he's gonna win the hopeful.
He's extremely smooth and fluid.
Gunite is a tough customer here as they come on for the finish.
How sound he is.
Gunite got the jump.
Consistent mentally, physically.
He will defeat Elite Power in the Forego.
Complete package.
Welcome back. Welcome back to America's Day at the Races here on Fox Sports 2. We're proudly brought to you by Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime with live racing coverage from New York City's track, Aqueduct, as A Little at First graduates today. A New York bred facing Open Company, guided to victory by Javier Castellano. I'm pleased to be joined here by Horacio De Paz. And Horacio, obviously, when you have a turf horse, you have to take every opportunity that comes up in the condition book. And with the troubled trip that this horse had last time, I'm sure you were more than happy to take a shot at some Open Company.
Yeah, I mean, he's a full brother to 26 Black, so, obviously that whole family seems to be competitive. But with last time the race is not going, he drew on the AEs, and it's been tough. He's just had a hard go. And then obviously Dylan rode him first time out, and he really liked him. Came back, and actually when he got back to the jocks room, his agent texted me. He's like, "I'd like to ride that horse back." And unfortunate with him obviously going down yesterday that he couldn't be on him. But yeah, glad he showed up today.
And a horse that does have promise. When you're familiar with a horse, like you said, with 26 Black, obviously this guy preferring to go a little bit longer than his brother. Do you find similarities? Do you find you train them the same way?
Yeah, he's a little bit more similar to Can't Fool Me. He's a little bit more on the muscle.
Right.
26 is a little bit more laid back, but they're willing to compete. So that seems to be the similarity with all of them.
What do you do with turf horses, especially New York breds at this time of year? Are you going south? Do you turn them out? What's the plan?
No, we usually turn them out because they're New York bred, so it doesn't make sense to go down there. They kind of lose their conditions and the money as well. They lose a lot of money, so we usually just turn them out and bring them back in February and get them ready for turf season.
No better way to do it. Congratulations here, though, getting that maiden score before he gets a little vacation.
Yeah, thank you.
A Little at First, taking down some Open Company today was impressive. A New York bred with a future, Greg.
Got to feel very rewarding, too, to capitalize with just a few days remaining in this turf season.
Yeah, no, I think Horacio's horse has been running. I don't think they have been running extremely well lately, and he's a very good trainer. I think Horacio's a horse trainer that we're going to hear a lot from for years to come.
The Spencer Farm 2-year-old race of the day. A Little at First, $14.58 for the win. We are going to have a massive favorite in race number 5. 7 furlongs, $10,000 claiming race. Master of Arms, huge drop in class. Huge edge in the figures that this one has run. But second off the claim and the big drop now.
Right. The negative is claim for $16,000. Didn't come back and run very well. Linda immediately drops in for $10,000. She's hoping to win. The horse is going to get claimed and move on. And with a small profit, doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy.
That one trained by Linda Rice to stand out and thrive on this very difficult New York racing circuit. Excellence is a daily demand, and few meet that standard on a more consistent basis than Linda Rice. Year after year, she is a force on the Naira circuit, blending her sharp horsemanship with a competitive edge that keeps her barn front and center.
When I go to the barn in the morning and train horses that I'm excited about running, that's what drives me. Winning races, whether it be a claiming race or a stakes race or a grade 1 at Saratoga, it's so much more fun than losing. Okay guys, Jose, I'm ready for the first one. Go ahead, we're going from the half out 5/8. My father, he was a hard worker, and he was very ambitious, instilled a strong work ethic in my 3 brothers and myself, and he had a love for the horses his whole life, and he instilled that in us as well.
It's double booked in front.
My first good horse was a horse named Double Booked, a grass horse, when I started training at Monmouth Park, and a filly of my father's named Ready Jack Go. But I would say that City Zip was a very good 2-year-old. I brought him here. He won all 3 2-year-old stakes here.
It's City Zip in front at the 16th. City Zip by 3.
He would be the horse that really helped move me along the path that I am on now. He's gonna win at Belmont. I like to claim a lot of young horses with lightly raised horses that I think have both potential on their pedigree side and, of course, conformation. So that's been a big asset to my claiming, which has been probably in the last 5 years I've been doing more of.
Voodoo Song digs in. Is he gonna do it? He is! Voodoo Song with a 4-star Dave.
New York racing is, frankly, it's my home. I've been here for quite a few years. I have gone from a young trainer that was struggling to climb the ladder to being a mainstay in New York. And I think by not diluting my business at different venues, I think it's been helpful for me to be successful right here in New York. I'm all about New York racing. My father always said, well, he didn't want to die in a harness. And I think about that sometimes, but I don't know what my day would be like if I didn't have horses to train or to be around or to be excited about. Linda Rice. I'd like them to say she was one hell of a horse trainer, and she earned it.
I think just about anyone who knows Linda Rice would agree to that. And one of those runners you saw in that piece, one of my all-time favorites, Voodoo Song, 4 wins, 40 days at Saratoga, went from 40 claimer to grade 3 winner by the end of the meet.
I think that's one of the marks of Linda. She's not somebody that's super aggressive. She spots her race horses and races they can win. That's why she wins. She also picks out good horses. She's a good trainer, but she puts them in spots they can win. But when Linda's aggressive, like she was with Voodoo Song, that's when you really want to take notice, because she's not moving them up in company unless she really feels like they belong in there, and he certainly exemplified that.
Well, according to the tote board, she cannot lose this race. 1-5 on Linda Rice's Master of Arms. Show off Kendra Carmouche aboard, big drop in class. A little bit of a red flag.
Enough for me to pick somebody else. I picked Grouch, but how could I not pick a horse named Grouch?
Is there more to the story?
I've been known to be a little grouchy from
No,
time to
Andy
time.
Serling?
It's hard to believe, I know.
Master of Arms, huge favorite as we get set for the Pick 6 carryover.
But Elite Power does it again. 75 and a half. In the back, 550,000. Thank you.
Down, I'm going to get down, anybody else ground, and to get all through, all done. $1,050,000. $1,050,000 and a half. $1 million, Blake. Thank you.
Jugmont.
Welcome to the 2025 Keeneland September Yearling Sale, where history was made when Three Chimneys Gunrunner, the sire of 2025 Grade 1 winners Sierra Leone, Locked, and Brent, became the first horse in the history of the Keeneland September Sale to sire the session topper of each of the first 4 sessions. Among them was the $3.3 million sale topper, purchased by Peter Brent, M.V. Magner, and Winchell Thoroughbreds. Gunrunner, Breed Shaper, Dream Maker.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
John Gaines started this back in the 70s, had such stallions as Riverman, Sharpen Up, Bold Bitter, Leafard, Blushing Groom. I think our slogan says it best: power, passion, performance. We're looking to be a power in not only the breeding sector, but in the whole thoroughbred industry. I think passion describes our team to the best. Mr. Beck and his family have owned this farm for almost 40 years. Brian Graves has been a part of this team for almost 20 years, myself here for 3 years, as we look to continue to grow. And I think performance describes our stallion roster perfectly, both at the racetrack and in the sales ring. And obviously, Tappet was a huge feather in the cap of the farm. He's done well for the last 20 years at stud. We have McKenzie with 5 Grade 1 stakes horses in his first crop. We have Drain the Clock and Olympiad with stellar sales results with our first crop yearlings. We were very excited this year. We brought 4 new stallions in. We had Grade 1 winner Tappet Tri, son of Tappet, another son of Tappet, Mandy Pope, homebred Charge It, Muth, son of Good Magic, only stallion retired this year in Kentucky that was a Grade 1 winner at 2 and 3, and followed it up with Preakness winner and Pennsylvania Derby winner Seize the Great. We were very excited to have a son of Arrogate. We were a big believer in that stallion. We bred to him several times. We're bringing Grade 1 winner Locked, son of Gun Runner, into the stallion roster for 2026. Grade 1 winner at 2 at Keeneland. Grade 2 winner at 3, defeating older horses in the Cigar Mile. Grade 1 winner this year at 4. Brian Graves, Anthony Beck, myself, and the rest of the team here, we look for these horses that are going to hopefully be breed shapers and trying to continue to grow the stallion roster here at Gainesway.
Our program brought to you in part by Gainesway Farm. Gainesway, power, passion, performance. Pick 6 carryover, $16,284 begins right here, 7 furlongs. $10,000 claiming race, 3-year-olds and up. And the first leg for many, this horse right here is going to be a single and move on. Master of Arms, 1-4 favorite on the board.
Well, the people that are singling him are certainly hoping they're moving on in this race, and he is the far and away the heaviest favorite in the sequence and the biggest lean in this sequence. But let's go through the other races. I like the 5, Long-Legged Queen, in the 6th. I thought the 3 was the potential upsetter, along with the 10, One Last Knock, but they look like the right ones in there. The 7th race, I mean, a lot of people will lean on Laurel Inn. They'll use Laurel Inn and Fiona. I would use Laurel Inn and Evershed and try to beat Fiona on a smallish ticket. The next race, Long Pour, will probably be the bigger favorite, probably the second biggest favorite in the card. I'm going to try to beat him with 3 Bs. I would use those 2 horses, and anybody else is basically going to beat me in there. I think 3 Bs is interesting, moving up for Linda. I have no argument against Ohana Honor and Air Recruit, but I like the 3 Trickery a little bit. But I think this race a little more wide open. I can understand some people going in different directions there. And the last race, a lot of the money will be on the 8 Susie and the 12 Isadora Duncan, and they look like the right 2 in there. I had the 9 Delightful Darling as the 3rd horse. Mark Cassie's numbers stretching out in the turf are pretty good overall.
No interest in McPeak Sharing Wisdom, the 3?
I didn't particularly like that horse. I didn't think he's done any real significant running. He just sort of picked up pieces by getting good trips. And I should mention the 5 Libero has been scratched. It was kind of a late scratch. I mean, obviously Sharing Wisdom can win. I didn't like his last race, but I guess he's not impossible.
Interesting race to close it out. An additional already nearly $80,000 bet into this $16,000 carryover. And immediately off the bat, if this 6 gets beat, this pick 6 is going to pay.
Yes, or not pay at all.
Yeah, potentially.
But it's definitely, going to greatly increase the likelihood of a carryover. And I think if the 6 loses, most of the smaller tickets are going to get eliminated. Myself, I would make the 6 an A and the 8 a B and go from there. Even though I'm betting the 8 and pick the 8, I would use the 6 more heavily at a pick 6.
So meaning what? If you're playing the 8, how's your ticket going?
Well, I mean, at A, Bs, and Cs, you have a ticket with all A's and all Bs, one big ticket. And then you have A's in 5 races with C's in all the other races. You don't have to have C's in every race, but those are backup tickets to your A horses. I would spend more money on the 6 in a pick 6. Betting the race individually, I'm happy to bet a couple dollars on the 8, but I'm not stupid enough to think that his chances of winning are even close to as good as a chance of the 6 winning.
Here comes our post parade, and Glint inherits the rail with a scratch of the 1.
Yeah, I guess this horse has some back races good enough. We'll see.
Nobody rides for free off since April of 2024.
Omar Hernandez Moreno looking for his 2nd win today. He would need to really improve.
And he won that first one by shockingly going to the front, going gate to wire. Bold victory. I thought interesting if the favorite gets beat.
Got his first win in 2 years. He comes from the clouds. Will he get enough pace to run out even if he runs his race, though?
Cathedral Beach has speed.
He's got some back races out of town are good enough, but he's also running a very low-level races out of town.
2-5 favorite, Master of Arms.
I don't like the drop down. I don't love it off his last effort, but it would be foolish to say he's not the horse to beat.
Lolita Shiv Mangle. And for some reason,
you would think this horse will be at least forward in here.
Grouch, who you have selected with Ricardo Santana Jr.
Yeah, I'll expound more on it when we get off the air, but I do think he's interesting.
And then 50 to 1 outside, blinkers off Indian Quest.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. This horse wins would probably definitely have a carryover.
Nearly 90,000. Bet into the $16,000 carryover in the pick 6. You can play it right there. Get that offer when you punch in the code bonus 200 and sign up at NyraBets.com and get involved in this pick 6.
I think it's got a reasonable pool concerning the carryover because people do see it as playable. Whether or not it means they hit it is another thing, but sometimes you look at these sequences and they're so tough you think I could put $1,000 in and I wouldn't even feel comfortable. I think in this one people feel like they can play it for somewhat smaller money and have a chance to hit.
So let's look at this overwhelming favorite from 2 starts back and a win for $16,000, running for 10 today.
Yeah, I mean, he runs this race with an 86 buyer. He's less than the 2 to 5 he is right now to win this race. Nobody in this race is going to run that figure. But then he comes off the claim for Linda, and he's favored. And they were slightly tougher horses, but he didn't run very well. And now Linda's dropping precipitously. And you do wonder, you know, his win in October, that was coming off a 5-month layoff. Then he comes back in 16 days, doesn't run as well. Now he's had 4 weeks since then, and he's probably going to win this race. But I think there are enough red flags to take a small shot against him. And with Grouch, what I like about him is he's dropping into the bottom level claimers, the 8 Grouch, for the first time. And I've said this before. They run for 16, they're worth 16. They run for 12.5, they're worth 12.5. But when you get to the bottom level, wherever it is, it's 10,000 in New York, and I'm talking about the 8 Grouch, they're worth from 0 to 10,000. There are a lot of times when horses drop to the bottom, you will see them run much better. Now, he is a horse whose form fell apart gradually when he was claimed away from Kelly Breen. But he went to Tom Clark, who had him before, and had run pretty well for him. So maybe his form's falling apart. He's only been with Tim Mills 1 race, ran for 25,000, didn't run very well, but it wasn't that easy a field, to be honest. And now they drop him. So I want to take a shot, him dropping the bottom. He's got Ricardo. I would rather take a horse like him that I think can be at least a little more forward than a horse like the 4 as the other horse in this race. And I think Ricardo will get him in decent position. But I'm not so foolish to think he's likely to beat the 6. But I think at 7 to 1, I don't mind betting a few dollars.
Let's go down to Maggie.
Well, Andy, to say both of us, I'll take the other alternative to your favorite in here. I will land on the 4, but talking about your favorite Master of Arms, man, he just really lacked a lot of energy when he hit the racetrack, and you see Kendrick Carmouche really trying to get him engaged and get him moving, and I guess he can win, but I don't know. He just doesn't look like a favorite necessarily should to me. And I did think that number 4, Bold Victory's last effort was very good. He flew home. Yeah, he's not my typical type of horse because I much prefer horses that have some early speed, and which he does not. But he looks good, and I just appreciated the effort that he comes in here off of. And I agree with Andy with number 8. Though whenever Andy and I pick the same horse, they just don't win. So Grouch, me being a typical superstitious racetracker, but Grouch, I thought, again, when I saw him way back when in May of this year at Monmouth, moving incredibly well, same thing, same horse. And as Andy pointed out, he gets that drop in class. So if he can be the same horse that he was, or just a little bit of that same horse, you know, that he was earlier this year, then he should run very well in this spot. Greg?
6 to 1 right now on Grouch with Ricardo Santana Jr. And we talk about, you know, obviously Master of Arms and was running huge races, facing tougher company, but only won by a half length for 16 to back.
But he ran a figure that's going to make him
yes,
almost impossible to beat in this race, and he's got plenty of figures faster than these. It's not an aberration. The concern with him is strictly that he did not run that well off the claim. He's a horse who's had a lot of layoffs and such. He's a 6-year-old, coming almost a 7-year-old, and Linda is just giving him away. And I'm sure there's plenty of claims in for this horse. We'll see what happens. We'll see if he wins. We'll see if the claims go through or if they're voided, as they seem to often be. There are some questions, but there is no doubt that he is much the horse to beat. He may not win. He may not run well. but he's clearly a heavy favorite for a reason. And while I'm trying to beat him, I don't have any illusions that he's not very much the one to beat.
So back to this one here, Bold Victory. For the Ilkay Cantermachi barn, comes off a win. That was for 16,000 at 7/8 of a mile.
First win in 2 years. He made a huge run to win it, and he did it in a pace that didn't exactly fall apart, but they didn't come home that quickly. But he made a big run. He's the horse who's last in the screen right now. You're going to see him make a huge late run to win it. Not my kind of horse. We'll see. Will he get enough pace? Will the 5, 6, and 7? Will two of them hit it up a little bit up front? Maybe. And maybe that'll help him. But I'm not going to expect this horse to win 2 straight races. And I think this is a much tougher field.
And I'm going to go back to something you had brought up, just sort of musing about. I'm not sure if you did on the air or not, or to me during a break. We don't know yet. There's not enough evidence. But potentially, Speed has been doing pretty good.
Yeah, we've seen Inside Speed run especially well in 2 of the 3 races on the dirt. I don't think there's enough evidence to say that it's a big inside track. But here's the question. Is the 6 going to get loose? Because isn't Hernandez supposed to send Cathedral Beach? I mean, why wouldn't you send that horse? And also, Cancel's supposed to be aggressive with the 7. So if they just let the 6 loaf in the lead, he's going to win. But they're not supposed to. And in general, we've seen more aggressive riding here. Whether or not that's the case here remains to be seen. But I don't think Ricardo's exactly going to be shy about being aggressive with Master of with the 8 Grouch. He's not fast enough to be in front of them, but I don't think he'll be that far off of it.
Here we go. Pick 6 carryover and a 1-4 favorite to begin things here in the 5th. Good luck to everyone playing. Chris Griffin to start us off.
Christian Geraldo goes in. All set. And they're off. Speed towards the outside here from For Some Reason in the early mix, and Grouch towards the outside is quickest. Grouch now with a neck advantage. For Some Reason wants to keep up with that leader, and here comes Master of Arms. This move to the outside center of the racetrack is alone in 3rd. Just towards the inside of them is going to be Glint, is now a shared 4th and 5th with Cathedral Beach. Further back, Indian Quest. Towards the back end, Bold Victory, and the trailer. Nobody rides for free. 22.79 for the opening quarter mile, and it's For Some Reason going at it with Grouch. They are now head and head as they approach 4 furlongs left to go. Master of Arms within range is right there in 3rd, is just moving right along, and here comes the presence of Master of Arms. Right there in 3rd is coming after the leaders now. Big gap, now 5 lengths to an all-in Glint, who's towards the inside here, but outside moving, and under the shove, Cathedral Beach. Further back in the field, Indian Quest. Far back to Bold Victory, and Nobody Rides for Free. Master of Arms is now challenging to the outside of Grouch, but Grouch won't go away. Grouch is a stubborn foe on Master of Arms, who tried to push on by. Master of Arms is now edging clear late inside the final furlong. Master of Arms has put him away. Master of Arms, Kendrick Carmouche, inside the final 16th. The pick 6 kicks off with the favorite. Master of Arms will win it. Grouch is 2nd, then came Cathedral Beach, and from the back, Bold Victory. Final running time, 1 minute 22.60 seconds.
Master of Arms just too good for this group, and the price warranted here. And for many, this was a pick 5, singling this horse.
Yeah, and he got the job done, you know. And I think that Grouch ran well in here, and the 6 got a perfect trip, but the 6 was best. Good trip or not, he was just best. No surprise. We expected that was the case. For what it's worth, he went just over 1 1/5 seconds faster, slower than that race earlier today. So if he ran an 80, that puts that horse in the low to mid 90s. Source ran his race, he got it done, and I imagine he was claimed out of this race. There's probably a shake taking place. I don't know how many. Grouch ran fine, just was 2nd best.
Kendrick Carmouche, Linda Rice, already on a mile the horse to beat. Probably didn't mind what they saw setting up in front of him either.
And don't know that this is a race I'd use to determine the track, but it certainly didn't look like a gold rail, but not sure this is a great race to use for looking at track bias.
No. Not with an overwhelming favorite. 6-8, 5-4 finish. And this 6-year-old wins for the 7th time, 31 career starts. And extremely light. I'd be shocked if this horse did not get claimed. But we'll wait and see. Pristine Racing, Linda Rice, Kendrick Carmouche, and could be as expected to be a very short stay in the Linda Rice barn.
Yeah, I mean, the only way that he's not going to be a different barn is if he's voided the claim. And around here, you never really know.
Yeah, 2 and 6 were taken.
Glint was claimed.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to take a timeout. Master of Arms, as expected, kicking off this pick 6 carryover with a win. Stay with us.
A provision in a bill passed this summer reduces the tax deduction for wagering losses from 100% to 90%. This unfair change would tax horse players on a percentage of their losses, could cost over $1 billion in handle, and threaten thousands of jobs in the racing industry. That's why the NTRA is fighting to pass the Wager Act, a new bill that would restore the deduction to 100%. Tell Congress to pass the Wager Act. Visit ntra.com/wager.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races here at Aqueduct, as we saw a heavily favored Master of Arms in the winner's circle for who other than Linda Rice and this guy here, Kendrick Carmouche, in the irons. And Kendrick, you know, we see a pretty strong jockey colony this winter, but you're like the stalwart here. This is your castle. Talk a little bit about, you know, what you're looking forward to competing against these guys this winter.
We do it all year round. The only thing changes is the season, man. You know, it's good. People, you know, more jocks stay in and give you more competition, make you fight more, make you stay with the grind a little bit harder than relaxing some winners and just taking what they give you, you know. But they all come. They all go.
You got that winter seasoned, you know, ability, though. You know how to ride in the cold weather. Let's talk a little bit about Laurel Lane coming up in the Jockey Club Oaks. Suffered her first defeat last time, but she still ran very well. And what I like, you know, about her is she has that tactical speed. What do you feel with her today, getting a little more ground?
I think Graham stretched this filly out. I think she's been wanting this, you know. I think, you know, those races that she did win, a mile and an eighth, those were some soft company horses, you know. She just overpowered those horses. But we always thought in her future that a mile and a mile and 3/8, a mile and a half would be her type of thing, you know. She gonna break sharp like she always do. I let her run her race. I just stay out the way, Mags. This filly knows what to do, you know. she's such a class act, you know, and she ran such a wonderful race and to get beat last time. But I don't take nothing from her. I think she ran the same race. It's just the other horse was a little bit quicker off her feet than the lower line.
Oh, she looks like such a fun horse to ride. Wishing you the best of luck. Congrats here, though.
Yeah, thank you very much. Louisiana, baby. Back at it.
Back at it, as always, here at the Big A. Kendra Carmouche, Greg.
I got to finish it off, sorry, in the house.
He has one of the best raps going of any rider in history. I mean, he's got personality oozing out of him.
Master of Arms, $2.72 for the win. Even with that early pick 5, coming back over $1,800.
It was not an easy sequence. You had a couple of short prices, but you had to get 3 bigger priced horses in there. It shows a short price in the pick 5 should never prevent you from playing, and that's one of the things about the misconception of throwing out randomly favorites.
Race 6, late pick 5, 6 furlongs, outer turf, New York bred entry level allowance. We talked earlier about the 5 and the 10 being major players here. Right now, the 2 opens the favorite mildly for Tom Morley.
The 10 will be a strong favorite, probably under 2-1 by post time in this race, followed by the 5, and I think 3 are the ones that are going to take more money. I was looking at the multi-race bets. Let me take a look at that again. Yeah, the 3 and 5 are the same in the pick 3s, but the 10's a pretty heavy favorite, so I think that's what you'll see.
All right, coming up tonight when we have returned home off our journey on the subways, you can tune in again, catch action on Fox Sports from the Meadowlands. Fall Final 4 coverage begins 8 Eastern on Fox Sports 2, and Dua Lipa fans going to be all over Lua Dipa in the 8th. For Ron Burke, Ronnie Wren Jr. will ride 9 for 12 lifetime.
Now, did you go see Dua Lipa in concert because you like this horse and you just wanted to see what all the fuss was about?
That was part of the reason.
I assumed as much.
Terrific concert, by the way. So here's a look at the lineup tonight. Open Mare's Pace Championship kicks off the coverage that you'll see on FS2, 8:13 Eastern start time. And the 3 Diamonds, the one with Lua Dipa.
Is the governor going to make it out for the Governor's Cup?
Possibly. So here's Lua Dipa in action, Breeders' Crown winner, incredibly, impressively, at a very short price, was 1-5.
Well, he seems to be winning like a 1-5 shot should. He's just too fast for these horses behind him. That's for sure. Harness racing's funny. You don't always see these big margins in harness races.
Put this race away early.
Yeah. They couldn't make any dent in his lead whatsoever. Of the passing lane for second. Like the passing lane. Like saying passing lane. Nice record.
Yep. Again, 9 for 12 lifetime. That's coming up race 8 on our coverage tonight. That kicks off 8 Eastern on Fox Sports 2. 9 to 5 morning line. I doubt you will get anything near that. Went off in that race we showed you at 1-5. Before that was 1-9, the prior 2 races.
Post, maybe? Had a little to do with the horse being a bigger price? I mean, obviously not going to be 9-5, but the question is the post a hindrance? But I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't handicapped the race. But Andrew McCarthy, the actor, is now a harness rider?
That is coming up.
That is news.
Tonight.
From St. Elmo's Fire and Pretty in Pink to harness driving. Impressive.
Part of the Brat Pack, right? Yeah, different. Andrew McCarthy, tremendous driver. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back, get into this late pick 5 a little bit deeper. This is a great betting race to start it off. 4-1's your favorite. And again, we mentioned that last race. Not easy as well. Knickerbocker seems wide open. We'll be back with our Fox Sports 2 coverage right after this.
Bright future indeed. Bright future, the son of Curlin to win by 4. Bright future, Proxy, here's the line. Photo finish, Bright future.
Bright future, look at that. Bright future, the class prevails.
Bright future, standing at Claiborne Farm.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the NyraBets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing, get expert picks, boost your bankroll with weekly promotions, and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the NyraBets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with NyraBets.
History remembers moments of extraordinary strength, skill, and determination. True greatness is forged by those who fulfill their destiny.
Why wait for fortune to be revealed when you can make your own move? Because no one ever talks about the time they played it safe. So go ahead, press your luck, tempt fate, and claim your destiny. Because once in a lifetime can happen every night. Welcome to a world that revolves around you. Your rules, your world. Resorts World.
Back on our Saturday coverage on Fox Sports 2. Late Pick 5's coming up. Our program brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. Approaching the 10-minute mark to post here on the first leg of this Late Pick 5. And this one right here has become the favorite. Probably going to become a little bit shorter than 4-1 as well. Kerry Bryant trains. Kendrick Carmouche will look to go back-to-back.
Yeah, and draws well towards the outside with speed inside. But while his run okay rating has not won without the lead, and I think with the presence of particularly the 8, but also the 3, I don't think this horse is going to clear the lead. And while he ran fine behind Silsview, came back to win last time, and is a logical type horse in here, I think he's going to face some real speed up front, and that may work against him. Twirling Lulu is pounded in the pick 3. Is virtually close to the favorite in the pick 3, is just paying $4 more for a dollar than the 10. I have no idea, and I'm Bruce Levine's biggest fan. All I know is that when the CAWs slam a horse like this that doesn't make sense, they seem to run better than I expect, but I have no idea how you look at this race and like Twirling Lulu. It's not faster necessarily than Alpine Giant or the 10, is between them. Beat a bad field last time. I don't get this at all.
Twirling Lulu, the 8, by the way, for Bruce Levine, who's at 9-2 on the board.
But clearly somebody likes this horse. He's taking some money now, and he's probably going to be the second choice.
Let's go down to Maggie.
Hi, Kay. If you like Twirling Lulu, you can have her, as we'll start with the tepid favorite, number 10, on the outside. That's One Last Knock, who I thought ran very well behind Silsby, who would come back and repeat that victory with a 79. And the thing is that they were both, you know, well clear of the third place finisher, Miss Bourbon, in here. And I just think One Last Knock looks the best of the horses that make sense in here for Kerry Bryant. And I'm not of the mind that outside posts are bad in turf sprints. I'm just not. And so I do like what I see from her. And ultimately, I do think I'll land on her because she's shown that she has speed, but she also can rate and be effective. So One Last Knock for me, though I am intrigued by number 1, Artistic Success in here, turning back in distance. And I got a lot of flack from her owners when she ran and won when stretching out to a mile. Well, let me tell you, a mile at Saratoga, and sometimes it's more speed favoring than others, but a mile on that inside turf course always is kind to early speed. And so doing it anywhere else going long for this filly is just out of her realm. And now she turns back to a distance where I think she could be more effective and should be more effective. She's small, she's petite, she's compact, she gets herself kind of nervous before races, though today she's on the better side of things, has that cotton in her ears to kind of keep her a little bit more at bay, but looks good. And the last time I saw her back on September 28th, she was really washed out, and she did not run particularly well at all, and obviously wasn't used to get to the lead, which I didn't understand either that day from the inside post. Well, today she gets an inside post, not necessarily going to be the speed in here, but I hope that they at least are a bit aggressive with her from the rail. Moving on to number 5, though, Long-Legged Queen. I think she's the alternative for me. Like I said, I like One Last Knock, but Long-Legged Queen, and I said it when she ran last time, I think Joe Lee does an incredible job with the limited number of horses that he has in his stable. He and his family, his horses always look the part. They get that kind of really individualized care that you like to see. Do make the rider in here, Jamie Rodriguez for Sahin Savachi. But when Joe Lee had this horse before, he never got to run her on the turf. And last time he got that opportunity, and it resulted in one of her better efforts. She is a turf sprinter. That's what she looks like. And I think, you know, she could keep that winning ways, I should say, Greg, going here, because I think this is the right spot for her.
6 minutes to post. Thank you, Maggie. Here in the start of this late pick 5, let's look at Long-Legged Queen in that winning performance, coming from off the pace back on October 24th.
She finally didn't get unlucky in a race. She had been incredibly unlucky in her prior start where she should have won, and rider error prevented her from having her best chance. You know, she got a little lucky here. She was able to get out. She saved ground. Sahin Savachi got that seam to run through, and she got the job done narrowly. I think there's an argument that she beat a better field than the one that she's facing today. I do not think she's moving up off the win, and I think she has a good chance to win back-to-back. I don't usually bet horses back. Bet horses back off wins at bigger prices, especially at shorter prices, but I respect the 10. I think the 3 is dangerous as well. It could be the speed of the speed, but I think she gets the right trip, and I think she's very playable in the 4 to 5 to 1 range.
Jamie Rodriguez, as mentioned, will be aboard as we start with artistic success. Joe Sharp cutting back in distance.
Maybe Maggie's right, but I don't agree. This horse's sprint races, every one of them are slower than her races going longer. I just don't think she's as good sprinting, and it's going to be tougher to work out the right trip, but she does draw inside.
Miss Bourbon, Tom Morley Barn with John Velasquez.
She's one that the more pace, the better, but there are better closers than she is, but she could get a piece.
Alpine Giant has speed.
Yeah, I thought she could be the speed of the speed. It depends. Ricardo's usually aggressive.
Fifi Lafume broke her maiden sprinting, then tried long, back to sprinting.
Well, it's the right move to go back to sprinting. The problem is she's never run a race fast enough to beat these. That's why she's a big price.
The aforementioned Long-Legged Queen off that win.
She's just a logical horse in here, and she should get some pace to close into.
Royal Event, only one try on the turf, and now blinkers on.
He's a rider change to Jose Lezcano. That's the one positive for a horse that's very hard to make on paper.
The one we're a little shocked at, taking all that money, twirling Lulu for Bruce Levine.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm as big a fan of Bruce Levine as there is in the game, but I don't see how this horse, without improving, is going to win this race. I thought it was opportunistic last time.
You get Pratt for Maker on Willful Mama.
The one good figure this horse ran was able to get clear at a race where probably wasn't best that day. She's just slower than these, but the magic of Pratt, maybe she'll run better.
And One Last Knock, the one to beat.
But she draws outside, and she's going to have to be able to stalk the pace 3 wide, take over, and hold off the closers. I don't have a problem with people who think she's the horse to beat. She is very logical, but I don't think she's any great shakes at the shortest price. I prefer the 5, but she can win. Like I said, I would have used 3, 5, and 10.
So 4 minutes to post. $210,000 in this late pick 5. This is right around the corner. Oaklawn Park accepting reservations for dining and reserved seats for the 2025-26 holiday and classic seasons. Mig making a little bit later appearance there in the meet.
Yes, Megan Burgess will be down there for the first half of the meet with us. They're running a few weeks in December, and then they're reopening again with 4-day weeks at the end of January, sort of the way they used to be. They're going back more to that thing, and they're ending maybe with the Derby?
Maybe.
I think so.
Luis Saez, Joel Rosario will be riding there full time.
I don't blame those guys for going there. There's a lot of purse money up for grabs, and with all due respect, Christian Torres and Francisco Arrieta are good riders. They're not as good as those guys, and those guys are perennial leading riders there, and I think they see an opportunity.
Yeah. Going to have a lot of success as we take a look now at the 5-2 favorite, and we did not expect to see 4-1 hold on One Last Knock, and now down to 5-2.
Yeah. It's going to be like 2-1 or something in the multis, and 2-1, 5-2, and that's the best you're going to get on this horse, and that's fine. I mean, I prefer others, but I don't have a knock on her. She's a logical horse. What's It's not to like, you know. Draws well on the outside. The question with her is, can she be effective rating? Because she's not likely to clear all of the 3 and 8 in this race.
And now it looks like
a saddle adjustment or something, I think.
Kendra Carmouche.
No. Is he taking it off or is he adjusting?
It's like tightening.
Looks like they're adjusting, yes.
All right, let's go down to Maggie.
Getting back on.
Yeah, I've honestly, I've never seen a rider assist in that saddle adjustment, but he is getting back on. I get Kendrick very much a horseman and knows where he wants his tack to sit. So yeah, all things good with your favorite, just getting the saddle to sit a little bit better. We'll take a look at number 3, Alpine Giant here. As we look at both of the potential speeds, she, I feel like, is a little bit of her own worst enemy. She does get herself quite nervous prior to her races. You can see she wears that hood just to kind of keep her a little bit more at bay. She was dueling last time out, and then to be honest, I thought she faded, worst of any of the horses that were forwardly placed in there. So I've never been her biggest fan, to be fair. So we'll see. I just feel like she's kind of her own worst enemy at times, and she's going to have to deal with some other pace presence, including number 8, Twirling Lulu. I get what Andy's saying in that, why would she be a short price in here? To be fair, she's not at the moment. We'll see what the last flash makes her, but she has been short prices in several of her efforts. So she's a horse that generally does take a good bit of money. I don't necessarily like her. Look, her turf efforts are obviously much better than her dirt ones, and she was able to control last time out with not much change in the running order from start to finish. I thought she could look a little bit better in her coat, but Bruce Levine quietly has done a very good job with switching horses to the turf and just on the turf in general, especially at this fall meet, guys.
I wonder if one person made a big pick 3 and they're alive or something, singling the last winner, used a few in the race before it, because this horse does not strike me as one that the teams, the computers are laying into. It's just, I mean, it's not like her race. I mean, I know she won her last, but I bet her last time. She had everything her own way against a very soft field. Aperitif, who was second, could be 25-1 in this race. I mean, like I said, I respect Bruce as much as anybody in the game. It's also, it's not like she's lone speed.
I don't like that race. It was slow. She's not going to get to control like she did in that race, but it was off a long layoff. And if she can improve off that, there's some reason to have hope.
I don't have a problem with betting her at 8-1 or something, but she's betting to pick 3 like she was going to be 5-2. Now, that didn't happen, so that makes me think, I don't know. And I know the CAWs aren't involved in the win pool, so it's a different situation. I know people know that. They don't want to admit it, but they know that. But I still wonder if this is like one player, making a big play and being alive for money. Because this is an odd, aberrant payout. The horse is betting doubles, too, is like the third choice. So maybe I'm wrong. We'll see how she runs.
Meanwhile, though, the 10 has become the shortest price at any point in the wagering here. One last knock down to 2-1.
As we expected. Yeah. I prefer the 5, but the 10's fine. I thought the winner would come from the 3, 5, or 10. We'll see if it works out that way. They're the 3 I'd have.
Kendrick on the favorite, stepping in late pick 5 starts here. Chris Griffin to start us off.
There's Long-Legged Queen. Inamorata. Last to load. Goes in. All set. And they're off. Speed to the outside from 1. Last knock. And also hard scent is Twirling Lulu in between horses. Wants to be in the early mix. Alpine Giant will have no breathers up front. Is now going to take back as Twirling Lulu gets over to that rail position. Is up by 3/4 of a length. Here comes New Company from Inamorata towards the outside. Is now a challenging second. Twirling Lulu has been on the go since they sprung the latch. 22.36 for the opening quarter mile. Trying to keep up there as Alpine Giant is at the rail, is now in third with Willful Mama moving to the outside. Also trying to rally on there is One Last Knock is in 5th, is making some progression towards the outside. Nowhere to go right now. Royal Event is working around horses. Long-Legged Queen from the back. Also Fifi Lafume and Artistic Success. Last is Miss Bourbon. They reach the top of the lane. 45.61 was the half, and here's Willful Mama down the center of the course. Right to the outside. One Last Knock is ready to challenge. Long-Legged Queen has 3 to make up, and here comes Long-Legged Queen. Willful Mama with a neck in front. Also Fifi Lafume is in it late. Willful Mama's kicked on inside the final 16th. One Last Knock can't keep up. Willful Mama is going to win it. Willful Mama wins it over a photo. Long-Legged Queen there with One Last Knock, and Fifi Lafume finished 4th in 1 minute 10.11 seconds.
Willful Mama for the Mike Maker barn. Flavian Pratt, masterful in perfect position once again.
I'm beginning to think he's the greatest rider in the history of horse racing. This is a horse that just makes no sense on paper. Has never run well sprinting. Even the good races on turf are below these. He got into an absolutely perfect spot early in this race. They were moving a bit up front. He was closer than she had figured to be. Got a perfect trip and pulled out. The 10 tried to close. The 10 is not a horse that wants to win without the lead. And she dominated this bunch. I don't know what to say. Maybe she wins with other riders, but it just seems to me that Flavian Pratt has gotten to the point where he basically has magic hands. Just amazing.
5-1. And Willful Mama.
What price would she be with another rider? She would have lost, but
Well, she was 6-1 morning line.
well, she's 6-1 morning line because Flavian was
I thought
riding.
she figured, but okay.
She wouldn't. I don't know. I'm sorry. This guy is winning on horses. I have seen very few riders winning on horses that make as little sense on paper as his do. I'm not saying she had no chance. I'm just saying he is. I mean, she buried this field.
I will say the margin, yeah, that was something else.
It's crazy. But it's the position. This horse, for other riders, would never have been sitting where she was, third on the outside, winning a perfect trip. Never. He gets position that other riders do not get. He's remarkable.
He is a master.
Remarkable rider.
And again, we talked about coming into today, since the Breeders' Cup, 21 for 53 entering this afternoon.
I can't believe he's only winning at 40%. Unbelievable. Because he's not always winning on, they're all shorter prices because he's riding them. I'm telling you, other riders, this horse has been 8 to 10 to 1. No way this horse gets bet like this with other riders. No chance.
5-1 Willful Mama, Maker Pratt, and homebred Buck Butler. We say his name a lot on this program, too. 3-year-old filly by War of Will. Dominant to start off this late Pick 5.
Every sire hopes to have a son to follow in his footsteps.
An impressive debut.
For Munnings, that son is Jack Christopher.
Jack Christopher to win the Champagne.
Unbeaten Grade 1 winner at 2. Dual Grade 1 winner at 3.
And he is pouring it on here. It is Jack Christopher winning the Grade 1 H. Allen Jerkins Memorial.
Jack Christopher, standing at Coolmore, America.
America's Day at the Races continues here in FS2 as Willful Mama pulling off the mild upset at 5-1 for Mike Maker, the Magician, Flavian Pratt, and of course, owner-breeder Buck Butler, who joins me now. And Buck, I was a little surprised, I'm not going to lie, because her lone win and her best effort came going longer than this.
Longer than this with Flavian, and he ran that same race, so.
What surprised, I think, all of us is that he was able to get her closer than we anticipated.
Right. That was the instruction, so, you know, well, and his choice, so we'll go with that.
I was going to say, he actually listens to instructions. He's amazing. But when you can get a rider like Flavian Pratt, I feel like it boosts your morale, it boosts your confidence.
That it does. I mean, he's done some fantastic riding for me, my stable, but just in general to watch him, it is amazing.
Speaking of your stable, in spite of Mama, that whole family, it's like the gift that keeps on giving.
It is special. It is special. We just moved my main squeeze along, and I'm hoping that Willful Mama takes her place. So let's see what happens.
Oh, I like it. Some high hopes. Very good. Well, wishing you the best of luck. And talk a little bit about, my main squeeze, moving on, the emotions, when one that's done so well that you bred yourself, is sold.
I don't know that I'm going to give you what you're looking for, but
that's okay.
I'm not a big mourner when I move something along. It's a decision. I loved her dearly. I mean, Loretta's still in tears, my wife, but I'm okay. I'm okay. She was awesome to us. She owed us nothing.
At the end of the day, is also a business, too. That is not lost on me. Well, but congratulations here.
Always a pleasure, Maggie. Thank you.
Likewise, as Willful Mama showed a lot of will today to get up, get the win. Flavian Pratt always working his magic to get to the winner's circle, too, Greg.
Dead heat for second, by the way, with long-legged Queen, the 5, the 10, one last knock. So 9-5-4, 9-10-4. Double payouts in the exacta, trifecta, and super.
There you go. This horse will help in the Big Six, because I bet this horse is a bigger price than Big Six. This horse took some Pratt money. It's probably a little bit of a bigger price in multis, so this will move you along a little bit if you have this one.
Grade 3 Jockey Club Oaks, $350,000 purse, 3-year-old fillies. Our ABR race of the week in Laura Lynn, who had been undefeated 5 for 5, including a Saratoga Oaks Invitational win this summer, until being beat in her most recent start in the Queen Elizabeth II Cup, Grade 1 at Keeneland behind Lush Lips. Still ran a very good race, and Graham Motion, her trainer, believes longer will be better, and she's going to get longer today.
We'll see. Who am I to argue with Graham Motion? She doesn't really have to get better. She just has to handle it. If she gets better, then she's definitely going to win this race. But even if she runs her races, she's the horse to beat. And what gives her an advantage over Fionn might be not just that she may be a little bit better than Fionn. She also has enough speed that she can put herself in position. She's not a victim, whereas Fionn is a horse that needs some pace up front, and she's gotten fast paces for the most part in races that she's won. Laura Lynn makes her own trip.
She is good. Kendra Carmouche has been a regular pilot. 4 of the 5 wins have come with Kendrick aboard.
Should we discuss the board, though? Should we discuss
This is a little wacky. It's going to change.
Somebody's made a big bet, yes. There's $60,000 to win on Fionn and $30,000 on Laura Lynn. So I feel like that guy is betting a lot of money. Must have bet $30,000 or $40,000 on Laura Lynn. Good luck to him. On Fionn, excuse me.
Yeah, who's 2-5 right now. Laura Lynn, she's been tremendous so far. Let's go to Fionn, who Andy mentioned has taken all that money. Gonna make an equipment change. Had won 3 straight graded stakes, including the Grade 1 Belmont Oaks Invitational, beating Nitrogen. But then the Queen Elizabeth II Cup with Laura Lynn did not go well. Never really got involved, and now blinkers off for Brad Cox.
She is the only horse to finish ahead of Nitrogen on turf this year. She's good. I'm not denying it. She shouldn't be favored. And she may not be favored by post time. But she's won at 1 mile and 5/16 at Kentucky Downs, so we know that she can handle the distance. but she did it against softer horses than she's facing in here, and I can't get past her last race. I have great respect for Brad Cox. Obviously, Flavian just seems to be a magician out there, but still, I don't think she's supposed to be favored, and they're both very close to the multi-race bet, so we'll see who's favored. I'm going to try to beat them both with the 5 Evershed, who I'm hoping is improving at the right time.
Okay, who had faced Laura Lynn in that Saratoga Oaks Invitational, was beat a length and 3/4.
Might have some upside.
All right, we'll talk more about that. Ricardo Santana Jr., by the way, the pickup mount on Evershed. Tomorrow, you going to be with me?
Absolutely. Would I miss an opportunity to spend quality time with you, Greg?
I love it.
What kind of idiot do you think I am?
Forever Together,
Don't
part of the
answer.
card on Sunday, mile and a 16th on the turf. Fillies and Mares, 3 and up, and that's a look at the field that will line up. We'll start with oversubscribed. 8 and 9 are MTOs, by the way.
I was shocked to see oversubscribed in this race, honestly. And
off since November 24.
Yeah, I texted Seth Klarman, the owner, and said, am I wrong? Is this horse... I'm surprised to see her back. And he said, yes, she hasn't run this year. He said, Chad said she was doing really well, so wanted to run her. I mean, she runs a race. She's going to win this race. She doesn't win here, but she was compromised by a very, very moderate pace. Now, we'll see if that becomes an issue in this race, but she is overwhelmingly the horse to beat. I mean, she's a good horse that's been a little unlucky in some races, but she's also run some very nice races. She's good. And Chad's pretty good off layoffs.
As we know. A long layoff to overcome, but yeah, typically with this barn, especially with a good one, usually not a concern.
This is the other horse in the race, though, Serona. Clearly the other horse. For that man, Graham Mosher's everywhere, right? He's been in every single turf stake we've been running and doing well in them.
Coming out of the Grade 3 weigh at a mile and 3/8. We'll not have to go near that long tomorrow.
And I know that it didn't get much of a fig this race, but the winner, the horse who beat her, No Show Shammy Joe, came back and was second in Long Island last week and should have won. Now, she's probably better with a little more distance, but I think this is a better race than it looks. And she's got the recency over oversubscribed. So even if oversubscribed may be a little bit better, this is the day to take her on, you know?
That's, yeah, if you're going to beat her.
Yeah.
Off the bench like this, the time to do it. That is race 7, 3:09 Eastern start time on our coverage tomorrow. We're on 2 to 4:30 Eastern start time on our Sunday coverage. Don't forget, tonight we're back on beginning at 8 Eastern with coverage from the Meadowlands.
You're pretty excited with the Meadowlands card, aren't you?
I'm excited about it.
I can feel it.
I am.
I can feel the
I'm also excited about these races we're not going to be covering.
I am too.
Which we'll talk plenty about tomorrow, that you can watch, by the way, on Naira Bets. This race we've covered a little bit, and this 1 to 2 obviously is going to change on Fio and the 4. You've gone, this is just, everyone's a crazy price because of this early money. It's going to even out. Evershed, so another shot here at Laura Lynn. What'd you think of that last effort at Colonial?
Not great. She should have won. I didn't love it, but there was a lot of give in the course, so maybe that worked against her. I really liked her race in the Saratoga Oaks, and even though she kind of picked up pieces for second, I feel like she's an improving horse, and maybe she has some real upside, where we've seen the best from the others, and she's sort of been pointed for this race. I have no illusions. Laura Lynn is a better horse than she is, and in a lot of ways so is Fionn. But she showed me enough in that race that I thought she had a chance to upset the field, so I took a little bit of a shot with her, but I'm not against Laura Lynn. I prefer her to
upside too. She's only made 3 starts Evershed as a 3-year-old. Now a little bit of time off. We'll see where the odds settle in here. But yeah, don't get too excited about 17 to 1. Again, tonight, back with the Meadowlands. That starts 8 Eastern on Fox Sports 2. Our Sunday coverage that includes that Forever Together begins at 2 Eastern on our Sunday coverage. You can catch this race, Knickerbocker as well, on Naira Bets.
Now 650. $1,650,000. Not anybody else wants $650,000 bid today. $1,650,000. $1,600,000. Thank you.
The 2025 Global Symposium on Racing. It's the premier networking event of the year. Connect with the who's who of racing. Collaborate face-to-face with key decision makers. Be a part of the international conversation. Discover the latest technology and innovation. Join us December 8th through 10th. Register at racingsymposium.com.
Here comes that big gray Tappet Trice right down the outside.
Tappet Trice wins the Toyota Bluegrass. Tappet Trice's 2024 debut was awesome.
Tappet Trice is lunging. Tappet Trice wins the Woodward.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
Horses step on the track here for today's 7th race. Race 7, 5 minutes away. Third running of the Jockey Club Oaks. Grade 3, $350,000, a mile and 3/8 inner turf. Race 7, 5 minutes. Approaching the gate. Horses are at the gate. It's post time. Post time for the third running of the Jockey Club Oaks. Grade 3, $350,000. A mile and 3/8. Field loading, there's Scythian. Here for a good time. National Archive, Laurelin. Fian. Unmerited Favor. Unmerited Favor to the outside. Grade 3, third running, Jockey Club Oaks. All set. And they're off. Speed to the inside, Scythian. Right out towards the front, and here comes Don't Jinx It to apply pressure. That's the top duo, and Don't Jinx It will press on. Scythian now just having to check steady, got a little keen too. Here for a good time, can say the same. Right to the outside, they're second and third as they chase Don't Jinx It. Hard to handle. Here for a good time, wants to go. Don't Jinx It is the clear leader. Here for a good time was a handful for John Velasquez, is trying to settle and having a tough time of it. Is there in second is to the outside of Scythian. They're second and third. Just behind them, a patiently ridden. There's Evershed, who's to the outside of National Archive. Laurelin, Fian, and the trailer, Unmerited Favor. 24.76 for the opening quarter mile on the front end. They're chasing Don't Jinx It. A half length in front of Now a More. Settled down here for a good time is a comfortable second, and they are 3.5 in front of Scythian, who's right there in third. Saving all the ground towards the inside of Evershed, who's in fourth. They're followed at the rail in the green cap by National Archive. Laurelin is right there in sixth, is well slotted mid-pack. Fian is in behind them. The trailer, Unmerited Favor. They work to the backstretch, and on the lead, it's Don't Jinx It. Has been there the entire journey so far through a 49 and 4 half-mile time. Here for a good time is alone in second, Evershed. Making up some ground is right there in third. Evershed starts to move in closer with At the Rail Scythian. Laurelin is now moving forward. A tight hold here has not been asked. It's just moving on her own. Getting closer to leaders now is to the outside of National Archive. Fian is second to last, and the trailer continues to be Unmerited Favor. They turn up the pressure on Don't Jinx It, who's a neck in front. Here for a good time, the first to challenge. Evershed, 3 wide. Scythian at the rail. Laurelin, Fian, they're going to both move to the outside here for outside lanes as they start the sprint for home. Don't Jinx It is in front. Scythian is off the rail. Laurelin's going to get the first job to pounce here on Don't Jinx It, who's still there at a massive number. Laurelin now extends that stride. Fian to the outside of her. Laurelin, Fian catching her with every stride, and look at her accelerate. Fian has now put a neck in front, and Fian will win the Jockey Club Oaks over Laurelin. Then came Don't Jinx It at a massive number. Unmerited Favors in a photo with Scythian in 2 minutes 17.22 seconds. Order finish. First the 4, Finn. Second the 7, Laurelin. Third the 6, Don't Jinx It. Fourth the 1, Scythian. 4-7, 6-1 in race 7.